It's time for your big interview. What impression do you want to give? Oh my. We're gonna have to go with rhetoric and imperial history. We talked for a while about the importance of the emperor, someone in a position to look at the larger picture rather than be forever chasing short-term goals. Unfortunately, you fumble. At last, you wrap up the interview with an inspiring speech. Yep, this is really bad. Quite bad. It's gonna be one that we're not gonna have a proper demo for. This is gonna be like, I'm just gonna play until I feel like stop playing. I'm sure there will be some good hard endings for us to get to. This is gonna be Galaxy Princess Zorana. It makes me always think of Long Live the Queen, which had a decent following back when it came out because of how easily your cute little princess died all the time. So that's what you should expect from this tonight too. She's so shiny. Just as a quick synopsis for this game, from what I know about this, our father was an evil king of the galaxy, and we're trying to inherit the thrones. Whether we're evil or not, I don't know. We'll figure that out as we make our choices. Let's start. You lie in your curtained bed, trying to relax your mind into sleep. What a rotten day. Your mathematical drills made your head hurt. Your soup was served far too cold, and the heel of your favorite damson purple shoe snapped completely off on your way back to your room, making you stumble in front of your guards. Even your beloved pet. Okay, I don't think there's an easy way to continue with this. Oh, damn it! I meant to read that. My beloved pet, I'm assuming, is what we're picking. All right, so no controller. Obviously, we don't have full fleshed out controls for this. Okay, our beloved pet, a cunning bionic hawk, a sinuous golden viper, or an old consuming black blob. If I was gonna pick one of these things for myself to have around my apartment, a blob, I would imagine, be very difficult to clean up after, since I would assume they leave a blobby trail, maybe slimy even. I don't want to clean up after that. Sorry, buddy. Although if I am royalty, someone else would be doing that for me. Still, in the event of a coup, and I live, I gotta think about these things, right? Viper would just be cleaning up, skin, but how much would you want to pet a viper? Cunning hawk. At least you have something smart with you. Sinuous. What does sinuous exactly mean? Let's see. Sinuous. Definition. Having many curves and turns. Lithe and supple. So you're just describing it being nice feeling. More or less. Okay. Well, whatever works for you. Now, they pick up the dirt, just gotta rinse them with the water every so often. You sure seen it? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, if I didn't have to worry about cleanup, I would go between the blob and the hawk. I've never been that fond of snakes. Snakes, because they can constrain, I mean, poison aside, which all snakes have some amount of venom. Not necessarily deadly for us. I don't know if viper is one of them. I don't know, let's go with the... I'm gonna second guess myself, because bionic isn't gonna be that cuddly either. Let's go blob and get, gross. Ignored you during feeding time. It's bad enough that you had to leave all your friends and be dragged off to this floating palace just because you're the heir now. What's the point of being an imperial princess if you can't have nice things? I mean, it's not meant to be that you're supposed to have nice things as a princess. That's not the point of princesshood, princess. Your father, the Emperor, rules over all of civilized space. How dare your shoe betray you? This is not helping you get to sleep. Relax. You can get another shoe in the morning. Suddenly, there's a loud chime at your door. You don't care. You're in bed. You're not answering it. Ditto, princess. To your surprise, your room lights turn on by themselves. Someone out there has the power to override your settings? Sadeo. Your Imperial Highness, Princess Zorana, we are here to escort you to the cabinet room. Please rise and dress at once. Go away, I'm sleeping! It's an emergency, Your Highness. It's your father. Whatever my father wants, he could tell me in the morning. Princess, Father is gone. What? Oh, I'll be right there. Mood change compliant. Here we go. You make your way to a seat, still dazed. All around government ministers, logo thieves, logos, and civil servants are shouting at each other in agitation. It doesn't seem real. Surely the real you is still lying safe in bed, and none of this nightmare is happening. Adrift and confused, you stare up at the imperial portraits that overhang the cabinet table. Father, Mother, I never really knew either of you. Codex updates. Yeah, we may look at that. Your mother died when you were very young. You barely remember her. You have only pictures and her name. Imperial Consort Melania Crystal Nova. Really? You have to use some real names that are in political spheres right now. Can we just use made-up space ones, please? A place outside of the Empire which you have never visited. Emperor Dragosin, we'll go there, was a busy man with no allowance for children's demands. You were raised on the American homeworlds by your governess and a series of boarding schools. You saw your father only at official functions from a distance. You've only been here in the Heavenly Palace for a season, learning at his side, and now... Speak it one more time, or we cannot hear ourselves think. Mazarin, you are His Majesty's shadow, sworn to defend him at all times. How can you not know what happened? Or you're not at his side? A male Miro raises his head. I'm guessing it's just a cat species. The Emperor received a message from the science labs that one of his top secret projects had made some kind of breakthrough. We went down to see it at once. One of the cabinet ministers, your father's logos of science, immediately questions, "What manner of project?" The researcher was attempting to create short-range personal warp fields. The assembled ministers break out in shouts again with cries of "Impossible!" and "But the physics!" You don't understand any of the technical babble. Note, this is a skill test. You will see bubbles like this throughout the game where your current skills mood affect the outcome of the story. If you'd rather not know, you can disable test bubbles in the settings. Now, I want to keep those, so I want to know how I am derping. Any school child knows the basics, though. Only very large ships and structures like this palace can travel through warp gates to distant parts of the galaxy. No single person can teleport from a bedroom to a boutique, even if it would be very convenient to avoid crowds. We went to view the equipment and speak with the researcher. Dragosin sent me to another lab to check on some readings. He is my first royal loyalty, so I obeyed without question. I then heard the sound of an explosion. I returned to the lab to find that the equipment was destroyed and the researcher and Emperor had disappeared. But there were no bodies. No. Were there any records of what tests were run, what the machine was trying to do, where it might have sent them? No, everything was destroyed. How can you know nothing? It wasn't his role, he was a guard. No bodies. It is possible that the experiment worked and your father was transported somewhere in the Heavenly Palace. That he's just injured maybe, or unconscious, and that's why he's not here? It's more likely that he was thrown out into space or sucked into another dimension or ripped into tiny pieces and scattered like confetti. Yeah, probably that. You wrap your arms around yourself and sink down into your chair as the ministers argue around you. All gone. Princess Zorana, what? You are the designated heir. In your father's absence, it falls to you to make decisions for the Empire. You must decide what we do next. He did not prepare us at all for this. But if the Emperor is dead, then the Empire must be informed and official mourning period begun. However, with no body present, the procedures are less clear. Should we officially announce Dragosin's death or delay the inevitable until an investigation can be concluded? I think we should delay just slightly, not because I think that's necessarily the right decision for our people that we rule over, but to delay the inevitable of people trying to kill me to take over what's happening, and also give us some time to research what's happening. It's the middle of the night and no one is sure what's happened yet. Maybe there are clues we haven't seen. There could still be hope. There's no need to rush. Very well. The Celestial Ministry will organize a full investigation. Also, if we rush to pronounce his death, it might seem like we are part of that decision of him having this mysterious disappearance/death. There is a buzz of agreement and plans to sweep the entire palace for any clues to the Empire's fate, with a special focus on the science division. We must also consider the possibility that this was not an accident. A tall woman leans forward, her earrings swaying. She is the Imperial Thresher, head of intelligence in the secret police. You've never really spoken to her. Her reports to your father were always made in private. If it was well hidden. There's been no sign of any plot against his emperor, this Fivum. Fivum? You will pursue it? Of course, but this must be handled discreetly. We don't want word leak that the Emperor is missing, especially when we don't know the truth. There could be panic, chaos. Enemies would take advantage. Exactly. Karundi, that's a fun name. And in such uncertainty, we must devote extra attention to the safety of the air. She turns to you. Me? You don't have your oath-sworn bodyguard at this point, do you? No, just the regular guards. Then I volunteered to stand as your bodyguard until a proper rotation can be established. If you wish it, I will sleep in your quarters and keep you safe from harm. I don't know you from Jack, lady. I want 2 people on guard duty right now. In my quarters. 2. You and someone else that I decide is worthy. And you both keep an eye on each other as of me too. She wants to stay in your bedroom, your private sanctum. She's a stranger, and a stranger whose entire job is to snoop and spy. But it could be safer to have her present, if you feel that you can trust her. If not, you'll be volunteering for your own execution. Can you truly trust anyone in this palace? She might... I don't get the option that I want. Okay, that's fair. I mean, not if I was the princess, but, you know, I am not, and I never will be, and that's okay. That's okay. I've accepted this. Okay, so... and I never wanted to be a princess, let's just be clear on that. Okay, Korundi's protection. She might be volunteering if she had something to do with the Emperor's disappearance/murder. To make it seem like she's less suspicious. She's the one raising suspicion that something happened to him in the first place, after all. But, I mean, that could be just to throw things off. I think, for now, though, we're gonna just trust her for right now. I mean, Father kept her around for a while, and she didn't do anything for a while, but that doesn't mean she didn't do anything now. We'll do it for now. I accept your offer. She says nothing and only nods. It is probably best for you to sleep while you can. There will be little time for it in the future. Very, very understandable. With the meeting broken up, you disperse into the hallway. Princess Zorana, I was bound by your father to give you a message in the event of his death. Yes? Focus on your studies. The skills you gain can never be taken from you, and they may mean the difference between life and death for yourself and the Empire. Build a pool of trusted advisors as quickly as possible to strengthen your power base, but always remember that your own knowledge is more valuable than what you hear from others. Yeah. That's all? Nothing personal? No secrets? No final admission that he loved you? Nothing? Well, this is him building sort of prep for your own fulfillment of living. Which is not very much. Not a good father, necessarily. You have been a weak and spoiled flower, but you are Dracosen's child, and if you survive, you will be Empress. Spoiled, how dear? It is what your father told me to say. Learn quickly. Walks away. Here you are in complete control. I mean, he could just say that without her father ever saying that, you know? He can get away with that shit right now. Here you are in complete control of your own life for the first time. What you choose to study will give you the skills you need to become Empress. I mean, if you were spoiled, though, I'm sure you had more choice than you're saying now. Or else doom will be your brutal fate. You show them all you have to. I'm determined, after all. Once you've slept, you must choose your first set of classes and begin your journey. Zorana can learn many skills, some faster than others, depending on her current mood. Click the question mark next to a skill set for more information. So this is the crux of this game, is picking skills. Oops, let's keep you on there. I need to move me. So, we can do 2 different studies right now. And if we don't pass the skill check that comes up, and whatever backup skill check there may be, we're dead. That's just it. That's how this game works. Let's give this a quick save. So, I mean, like, we can skip text, which is nice. Uh-oh, where's the save? Well, we found moods. When you still have actions you need to accomplish on another screen, that screen tab will be highlighted like that. Okay. Alright, so we are in the determined. There's indulgent, compliant, cautious, negative, secretive, bold, daredevil, excited, social. I'm like in the secretive area. Seriously, where's the save? Oh, can we not save on this screen? Oh, no. Files? Save. Ta-da. Save me. Self? Save me, self. I'm myself, I save. Ta-da. Okay, let's take a look at what we have. We have interaction, we have arts, emotion, combat, condition, stealth, body control, domination, environment, gunnery, spaceships, and engineering. Engineering could be a lot of fun. But the advice was to build up your social stuff, right? But we already have one in stealth. 10 in hiding, and 10 in big guns. What were we doing? Excellent. Interaction, rhetoric, let's see here. Convincing someone to agree with a cause or value. Etiquette, understanding nuance of formal manners so that we don't offend people. Deception, lying believably. The target may not agree with you, but they will believe that you mean it. Bonus moods, compliant and social. Penalty moods, secretive. Unavailable moods, negative and daredevil. Even penalty moves were secretive. I want more secretive. Studying any interaction will gain 10 skill points. I want secretive stuff. Bonus moods, secretive. Penalty moves are indulgent and social on this, but the stealthier. Hiding. Concealing yourself or moving without being seen may also help you find hidden secrets. Intrusion. Picking locks, climbing walls, entering buildings, and otherwise getting into things that want to keep you out in sleight of hand. Magic tricks. Pickpocketing, distraction, attention. Anything requires nimble fingers. I don't know how much I really need to start with that, though. That's a bit much. I'm really interested in the spaceships and engineering stuff, though. Piloting. Will we actually get to fly? Secretive and bold. Ooh. Operations, use systems and spaceships. Layouts, understanding ship design. This one, definitely. Okay. I want piloting. Operations would be pretty good, too. How about repair? Determined. Determined. Bonus moves determined. Wait, when it says bonus, does that mean... Oh, I get it. If I am determined, which we are right now, we are determined. That means we get more points. See, that's 15 skill points here. So we definitely should do this for one of these. Repair, man. Invention, that'd be pretty cool. Demolition, nah. Do a repair. Hang on, I'm double thinking on the pilot. Do we have anything else that would work well with determined right now? This is 5 points. No, we're not doing that. No. 5 points. Art. Conditioning. Oh, this one has a bonus. Okay, tumbling, strength, and reflexes. Speed, ability to respond to changes in your environment without freezing up. Very useful in a fight. Strength, muscles, physical fitness. And strength, tumbling, gymnastic skills. Balance, falling without hurting yourself. Jumps and flips may help you climb with parkour techniques. I'm really leaning onto that. Oh, hang on. Body control. Endurance, pressure points, and contortion? Hello. Twisting your body flexibly can help you fit through small gaps or escape confinement. Pressure points, blocking or triggering pain and other sensations in the target body, knowing physical weak points for effective blows. Endurance, resisting pain, staying conscious while injured, traveling long distances, being able to push your limits. Oh, endurance. We're gonna do endurance. Yeah, okay, so piloting will save for later. Yeah, endurance and repair. Help skill checks, CODIS update. Yeah, that's fine. You have completed basic endurance and repair. 15 and 15. Once again, you lie in your bed. This time, sleep bubbles up easily. Your mind and body are exhausted from the stress of the days since your father disappeared. Only in sleep can you relax. Was there a noise? Did something just fall over in your room? You're so tired. Something bumps against your bed. You hear a scuffle and a scream. You activate lights to find Korundi crunched over the body of a Hurricane woman, freshly dead. Her blood is smeared over Korundi's clothing. The assassin has been dispatched, Your Imperial Highness. Thank you. We will remove the body investigator connections. I'll have someone clean the carpets in the morning. You watch in silence as Korundi and the guards carry the mysterious woman away. She was strangely dressed for an assassin. She looked much more like one of your father's concubines. Why would someone like that want to kill you? Maybe she had an illegitimate child. Or also known as a child. If Korundi hadn't been there... Oh, cautious. How are you supposed to sleep now? Every turn you will have the opportunity to interact socially with characters who are present in your current location. At the moment, that's people in the Heavenly Palace, as well as visiting Korundi in the Thresher. You can also spend time with your pet, which will affect your mood. Your pet is a writhing, indistinct mass of darkness that likes to tear its prey apart before absorbing it. You're wonderful. You only wish you could be that destructive through large weapons. Do help. Choosing pet gave you starting skill in hiding and big guns. Oh, that's where that came from. What's your blot's name? Oh! Ooh. Gibbelet, Amoebus, Goo, Malacron, wait. Ginungagap, Ginagagap, Toby, Tina. Toby just makes me think of The Office Toby. Yeah, we're gonna stick with Toby. Whoa, that's a Toby for you. Okay. So these are the only people we can talk with so far. I mean, Toby is destructive. If someone trains Toby without us doing anything, that would be bad. I think we need to stay on Korundi's good side for certain since she's protecting us, so let's be social with her. You can close this dossier with the X button. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Grand skill, intrigue. Voting status, not an elector. Opinion of Zorana, not available. She's a lady. She lives in the Empire. She's American, which I guess that's something. Security alerts? What's this? Uh-oh. I didn't read any of that. Shit. Oh, I hope that wasn't important. I just thought that was gonna expand and I get to learn what the security alerts were. Good day to you, Imperial Princess Zorana. My agents are not aware of any current threats to your personal safety. Well, that's good at least. What did you find out about the woman who broke into my room? Who was she working for? Her name was Esmeralda. She was a member of the Emperor's harem. According to my agent, she believed the Emperor was going to marry her and make her consort. His disappearance meant the end of her hopes. That may be what made her angry enough to kill you. How'd she get into my private room? She obtained override codes somehow. We haven't been able to trace the vector. Esmeralda was not a skilled hacker and not in contact with any known subversives. Her only notable society connections were to Zolat, Elector of Kedro, but he wouldn't have had those codes either. Kedro, one of the twin worlds in Sector Mirka 1. That's where you grew up. You met Zolat socially before, though you don't know him well. We have... Oh wait, that wasn't her... accents. We had rekeyed old systems, of course. However, those codes leaked. They will no longer function. Well, whatever happened, it's dealt with now. Am I done talking with her? I guess so. All right. Okay. Oh, we can read now. Okay. Head of Imperial Security and devoted to her job, no spouse or any other ongoing relationships. An exemplary record. To learn any more Korundi, you need a skill to investigate on your own. Oh. I need to investigate on my own, huh? Oh, I only get one more, I think. Okay, do I want to talk with Toby, my pet? Or Mazarin? I guess we could talk with Mazarin next time. I want to see my pet. Let's visit her blob. Mood change to negative. You tear apart chunks of meat and throw them to the blot, watching them slowly dissolve in its burbling grasp. If only it were so easy to make all of your problems disappear. At the end of each turn, you can choose an activity which will change your mood. How do you want to prepare for the turn come? Okay, yeah, we don't want to be negative. Write in diary or search for traps. Personally, I would write in my diary, but As someone who had just had someone try to kill her, let's search for traps. I mean, if we get the option. Cautious. You examine your room in detail, hunting for any hidden traps or monitoring devices. One can never be too careful. You are summoned again to the cabinet room, where the ministers are assembled. To our great sorrow, there have been no signs of Emperor Dracosin's survival in the Heavenly Palace or anywhere else. Please report on your investigations. Karate stance. No subversive organizations have claimed credit. No unusual activity or celebrations. No signs that this incident has leaked outside of the palace itself, although that can't last long. The missing researcher, a hero by the name of Three-Forked Lightning, was known for alternative practices and generally considered a crackpot by other scientists. Three-Forked Lightning was personally recruited by Emperor Dracosin to work on this secret warp project, a posting it could never have received by merit. Unlikely that it would then betray the Emperor. No enemies known that would go to such extremes for sabotage. No signs of suicidal inclination or other mental break. Personal records show only enthusiasm about the research. I leave it to you to explain the technical details. The head of science minister coughs. Logo of science. There we go. We have tried to recreate the Three-Forked Lightning research, but key records are missing, possibly stored in the equipment that was destroyed. The only experiments we can trace create unstable warp fields that immediately collapse, destroying the targets in the process. Nothing suggests it would ever work. It was madness to try. Other ministers speak up, but they all come to the same conclusion. Your father was killed by meddling with bad science. It was just a stupid accident. We are now honor-bound to announce the death of the Empire. Wouldn't you agree, Princess Zorana? Yes. Etiquette fail. Oh, very well. Then this celestial ministry is permanently disbanded. Thank you all for service. You may depart. The ministers, except for Karate, rise from their seats. Most nod their heads to you in respect before departing. Others just walk away. What happens now? Now the election cycle begins. You're Dracosin's heir, but you cannot claim the Imperial throne until you are claimed by the majority of the Electoral College of the Comitia. Why are there so many complicated space names here? I mean, not that I said that shouldn't happen, but come on. Every elector is a noble from one of the Imperial worlds, each with their own interests and motivations. You will need to speak to them individually to win their support and make deals where you can. You are also in need of a new team of advisors now that your father's ministers have been dismissed. By Imperial custom, you may not rehire any minister from the previous cabinet. With certain exceptions. The Thresher will always advise you on matters of intrigue. A High Pontifex will always take the role of spiritual advisor once you win her support. It is the same for your military advisor, the Star Admiral. The High Pontifex and Star Admiral aren't here right now. They have too many duties of their own to stay in the palace all the time. You'll have to seek them out. You now have access to knowledge skills. When you have access to an advisor, you can use their knowledge as if it were your own. Advisors will also help you train your knowledge, but a bad advisor can lead you astray. Yikes, that was not a problem along with the Queen, jeez. Okay. You might win an elector's loyalty by offering them a position as your advisor. It's a great honor to join the Celestial Ministry. You might also consider winning someone's loyalty by making an offer of marriage. Marriage? Marriage alliances are traditional, even in space. Space tradition. But you haven't even had your adulthood rights yet. You're still an adolescent, old enough to be betrothed, yes, but would you really want to barter away your future like that? Marriages are for life. Well, for both of your lives. I mean, like you have the right people in your grasp so you can get some assassins. Not that you should. Not that you should. You shouldn't do that. But desperate times can call for desperate measures. In space. As your father's heir, you provide direction for the Heavenly Palace. As your command, we will travel the Empire so that you can meet with your electors. It's all so much to take in. You have enough to worry about with your classes. Thank you. I will speak with you again later. What should you study next? All right, so we're cautious right now. So, oh wow, there's more stuff on the side here. Hang on. Let me just, so you can see what the new options are here. Excuse it. Media, science, spirituality, intrigue, galactic relations, imperial history, economics, military, and bureaucracy. Very, very interesting. So the intrigue, we know who that is. that has the 75. Code Under Pressure grants you Intrigue of 75. Studying Intrigue this turn will gain 15 skill points. So what does this do exactly in this case? Access the Imperial Intelligence Network, used for learning who is allied with whom and what secrets each elector is hiding. Very useful in plotting your strategy, but beware, intelligence is not infallible. Your learning rate for knowledge skills is not affected by mood, but by how your personal skill compares to any minister assigned to this position. Skill checks will test either your skills or your threshers, whichever is higher. Okay, so what do we have in terms of stuff that is beneficial to cautious? That's my concern. Compliant and social. Daredevil bold. Determined secretive. Negative and compliant. Negative indulgent. Determined excited. Excited bold. Secretive bold. Indulgent social. Come on. Secretive cautious for stealth. Okay. Cautious environment. And then engineering cautious. Okay, so these bottom 3 are bonuses right now. Wait a second. They're all color-coded right now. Studying any gunnery skill this turn will gain no skill point. Unavailable moods cautious, so you can't study anything with guns right now. Combat is -5, spaceships -5. So engineering we might do again. Stealth and hiding, intrusion, sleight of hand, survival, scouting, terrain, repair, invention, and demolition. So what's the environmental stuff? Finding food and water, structure, shelter, identifying hazards, scouting ability to navigate on a planet's surface, keeping track of directions and distances. So we're gonna have to do some traveling for certain in this game, aren't we? Terrain, understanding how to move safely through water, swamp, sand, and rockfall. I don't know how often we're gonna need to do that. But stealth, huh? Picking walks, sleight of hand, nimble fingers. Could do more repair. Okay, what do I want to work on the next time? What mood do we want is my question here. Oh, arts, hey. Ooh, okay, so we could do negative and indulgent. Actually, yeah, music, when you're feeling like shit, music is actually a great tune to go to. Listening to music, playing music especially. I was just listening in my head to past renditions. I mean, like, you listen to stuff with actually playing the music is what I mean. Like, you're thinking of like, oh, I remember hearing this song, I remember playing this song. I was going back to one of my favorite songs to play, which, this is a weird one, perhaps, but Danny Boy. I don't know what it is about that song. Old Irish songs like Danny Boy, Irish Washerwoman, and, well, yeah, those two. Those ones always, like, sit very well with me. They remind me of, like, childhood and just really good emotions getting out, especially with Danny Boy. So that's a good one. So anyway, so yeah, definitely negative mood. Good to play music. Some of things. You're feeling indulgent, I suppose, too, yeah. Or dramatic. Okay, so sports and wrestling. Wrestling. You want to wrestle? Only if I'm excited. Oh boy. Oh girl. I think perhaps we should work on a little bit of the etiquette or deception next time. So compliant and social would be what do we want to work on next, I would say. Okay. So that said, what am I doing now? I would like... Understanding force is enough to keep a safe distance. Actually, yeah, demolition for that. And then, secondly, why not intrigue? Intriguing. Yeah, we'll do that. Excellent. Princess Zorana, here are the regular status reports. You eye the stacks of paper with some dismay. The Imperial harem has been cleared. All of your father's former concubines have been sent on their way with appropriate gifts and things. Some will no doubt wish to return for the official funeral, but for now, it's safer to keep them away from the palace. We don't need any further disruption. That's probably for the best. What is the official funeral? Certain ceremonies to bless the Emperor's passage have been carried out already, but the full state funeral will not take place until a new ruler holds the throne. Until then, the Empire is guided by a spirit. So, Father's funeral already happened and I wasn't there? What the hell? This brings us to an issue which requires your attention. Mazarin, your late father's shadow, has not yet carried out the ceremony to end his life as honor requires. Oh, bureaucracy and imperial history failed. It wasn't his fault, it was an accident. There was nothing he could have done. That does not matter. The Emperor's shadow must follow him into death. Have you spoken to Mazarin? He has confined himself to his quarters, fasting in vigil. He claimed that he is waiting for the Emperor's body to be found before holding the ceremony. You know, I can kind of understand why he would want to do that. Hard to cut your throat at your master's feet when the feet are missing. Yeah. Was that supposed to be a joke? I suppose so. Mazarin's loyalty is not in question, but the Emperor's physical form may be forever beyond our reach. What are commands, Your Highness? I can wait for right now. I'm sure Mazarin would rest easier if we could find the Emperor's remains. Until we have found proof of the Emperor's fate or a new Emperor takes the throne, it is not a dishonor to wait. Very well then. You gather up the papers and hurry away to your room before you can be presented with any more problems. In your room, you check your messages and discover that you got mail from some of your school friends. They send their condolences about your father's death. Of course, the news must be reaching across the Empire by now. It's been a season since you've seen any of your old friends since your father called you away to Heavenly Palace and named you the heir in your brother's place. In your brother's place? What do you mean in your brother's place? You have a sibling? Wait, you said that you're the only heir. Your brother must be dead. Or disowned. At school, your two dearest friends were Zina and Vasily. Okay, we're being silly now. Come on, can I rename these guys? K and V. Kay loves gauzy dresses that blow in the wind and make her look like a dramatic heroine. Well, those are fun. Don't get me wrong, those are fun. That's not my life, but that's fun. She's fascinated by rumors of magic and alien powers and knows more about your Novan heritage than you. She probably says that in our face all the time. Kay was also a far better student than you were, especially when it came to computers. She loves finding out secrets and insists that the crystal she keeps by her keyboard gives her special hacking insights. She's enthusiastic, bubbly, and a bundle of energy. V, on the other hand, is much more laid back. He's handsome, artistic, and prefers to charm his way out of situations rather than do any actual work. He's quite intelligent when he puts his mind to things, but he'd rather use that intelligence to have a good time. I respect that. V always has devoted fans following his wake, and he was kind to all of them, but never seriously in love. Okay. As far as romance went, you had a crush on. Let's just say no one. Neither of them. Your bond was about friendship. That's more meaningful than some fleeting crush. You really miss them. For now, though, your social interactions are limited to the palace. All right. What's this? Denounce? Survey? Wait. Security alerts. We'll check with that. We'll ignore our pet for right now. Okay. To learn more, you'll need a skilled investigate on your own. Security alerts. Good day to you, Imperial Princess Zorana. My agents are not aware of any current threats to your personal safety. Well, that's good at least. Alright, well that was fun. Okay, so Mazarin, not an elector, subject to Empire, his race is Miro. Dragosen's shadow, his most trusted personal servant and bodyguard. His deeds, his words, and even his thoughts are meant to be reflections of his master's wishes, not his own. For this reason, you have never known him well. His loyalty to the Emperor is without question. Were it not, he would have long since been removed from his position and likely executed. Let's visit him. You stop by Mazarin's quarters and try to speak with him, but he won't open the door. Saito said the shadow was refusing to leave his quarters and claimed he would not eat or sleep until your father's body is found. Perhaps he's hoping to meet his end that way. In any case, it appears he's not willing to meet with you. Why don't you just talk with him through the door? Oh. Alright, so where are we? We're cautious. So we can review schedule. We can make a list of enemies and be negative. So. Review schedule. That's just like, let's go through the normal things. No. But I did say I wanted to do compliant, right? Right. Yeah, compliant. Okay. Honestly, though, I feel like the negative one is the better option to go with overall. But let's do review schedule. You visit all the major palace departments, making sure you know what they and you need to do tomorrow. At the end of your turn, you can direct the Heavenly Palace to warp to a new location in the Celestial Empire. You must travel to each location to interact with their local electors during the social phase. Under each pinned location, you can see the votes up for grabs in that sector. A icon that looks like this indicates an unassigned vote. A check shows a vote support and X shows not supporting you. Right now, the Heavenly Palace can move only one warp gate jump per turn. You can travel to any of the 4 points directly connected to your current location. Additional movement can be unlocked with science. Science! You can view more of the map by dragging with the mouse or compass arrows. Choose to stay put in a location instead of moving. You receive a bonus social action on the following turn, so you can talk to more people in your location. However, there aren't many people to talk to in deep space, so you probably should pick a new destination. All right. Heard. Okay. Deep space. Those are some very interesting looking planets. I want to go over that. I want to go to that one. Deep space. Droga. Mirka one, which has a lot of votes. That's also maybe a lot of threats. These are a decent amount of votes. Deep space, though, they said. Not a lot to do, huh? Okay, let's go to Tharkus first. And then we go to deep space and more deep space. And then the Heros. Hero. We're gonna learn some stuff about science. Go to Tharkus. Number 1. Entering Tharkus 1 sector. Please enjoy. We have a problem. There's always a problem. Mazarden has disappeared. What? He stopped responding to messages. But we overrode the security lockout on his quarters to see if he'd done his duty. We found him empty. How can an important political person, the Emperor's own shadow, just disappear out of the palace? Weren't you watching him? We never ordered surveillance of Mazarden. You said he was completely loyal. Your Highness, my agents have been more concerned with your safety than with the safety of the Shadow who was due to enter eternity in the near future anyway. Well, did he die somehow? Did he make another warp portal to follow my father? On last reported sighting, he was headed for the hangar decks. It seems likely that he smuggled himself out of the palace on a spaceship. As the Emperor's Chateau, Mazarden was trained in a variety of techniques, stealth surveillance, infiltration, hacking. He's quite hard to track. Has he gone rogue to save his own life? Or is there more to the story? Maybe he's looking for the Emperor. He is loyal. I'm assuming. Maybe he found something about the experiment. Maybe he's trying to throw himself through a warp gate to join the Emperor. If he took a one-man shuttle and flew it into the warp gate, he would be obliterated without causing any harm to the palace. Speculation. It all is, yeah. Princess Zorana, it falls to you to make decisions in Dracosin's place. What is your official response to this situation? If I do nothing, I'm gonna seem like a very lazy empress. Empress, I'm waiting. If he knows something that we don't, we should hunt him down. He can't get away with disrespecting my father like this. I want him hunted down and brought back to the palace in chains. Very well. At last, they leave you alone to plan your class schedule. Of all the things. Right, let's learn about etiquette and all that, because clearly I don't know enough about that. Which one do I want? Rhetoric. Convincing someone to agree with a cause or value. Whipping up support for a war would involve rhetoric. I think etiquette, yeah. We'll do that. And then gunnery, for some reason, compliance is better. I don't know where that comes from, but sure. Okay, so this definitely has a plus on it, but there was stuff about history and such that I was just like, well, I don't know. Where is that on here? blade chain unarmed, humbling strength, reflexes, hiding intrigue. Unless that's up here. Imperial history. Knowledge of events that have happened within the Celestial Empire, particularly useful for understanding legal precedent or predicting how the population as a whole might react to political activities. Your learning rate for knowledge skills is not affected. Okay, so maybe that. Galactic relations. Knowledge of alien cultures and their interactions with the Celestial Empire. Without this, you may know only the vaguest stereotypes of people outside the Empire. That seems like a dangerous thing not to know. Oh, yikes. That's a super yikes. And science was something that we needed to learn too, huh? If we want to do more sciencey stuff. May not become an expert in all disciplines, but knowledge of science will tell you what is possible and who within the Palace Labs might be able to help you. We gotta do some galactic relations. There are more messages of sympathy waiting for you in your mail queue. These condolences are labeled from your Novan family. What family? You don't know anything about your mother's relatives on Crystal Nova since she died. They've never visited or reached out to you in any way as far as you know. They might have sent something for her funeral, but you were very young and you don't remember the details. Are her parents still living? Does she have siblings? Do you have cousins? You wonder for a moment and decide that it doesn't matter. Crystal Nova is no part of your life. You're dedicated to the Celestial Empire. It's almost an insult that they would reach out to you now, considering... Then it hits you. This message isn't from some unknown cousin. It's from your brother. Prince Vashkot, your older brother. Like you, half Mirkin and half Novan. Unlike you, he held responsibility from a young age. He was named heir to the Celestial Empire upon his birth. He blazed a trail through the top scholariums and led his squadron in military service. And then he turned traitor, stole a fighter, and defected to Crystal Nova. Ex-Prince Vashkot has a warrant on his head if he ever dares to return to the Imperial space. You haven't heard from him since. Well, I mean, if he was a traitor? And I'm assuming we didn't have a good relationship with him in the first place, since it's the first time we've heard from him. Glad he's gone. You were never that close to your brother. He was the heir and he got all the fancy toys and accolades and your father's attention. He was traveling the Empire while you were stuck on one planet. You were just the second string, the spare. It was only after your brother left that your father brought you here to be with him. If Vashka were still around, you wouldn't be living in the Heavenly Palace, and you never have the chance to be Empress. You don't know why he turned his back on the Empire, but you've got the benefit of it. You don't have time to think about this now. You're an Imperial Princess, you're busy. When you enter a new inhabited sector for the first time, that turn's social phase will be a reception to allow you to meet the local electors. Tharkus Prime. Tharkus Prime, the still beating heart of a culture far older than the Mirkin Empire, a world that died and yet was reborn from its own dust. The first great global Tharkin civilization reached for the stars and almost achieved them, but their hunger for glory outstripped their planet resources. Their thirst for technology drained their seas and burned the skies. As the planet's heat grew, so did the wars and plagues, but it was famine that finally decimated the population. What remained of the Tharkin race descended into barbarism, scrabbling for survival among the ruins. Oh joy, this is where we went to. It took many hundreds of cycles for rebuilding to begin. The second Tharkin civilization is slow, cautious, and careful shepherds of its resources, and excessively proud of its accomplishments. That self-importance creates difficulties with the reception arrangements. As you are not yet Empress, the Tharkin elite refuse to flock to the palace on your command, not without tracings of notice and preparation that you have no time for. The Tharkin government is willing to host you as a guest planetside, but you're not willing to look like a petitioner, nor to cede the advantage of familiar terrain. At least in the Heavenly Palace, you have some idea what dangers you face. Yeah, I'm a bit reluctant to go down there, but... As a compromise, the three electors of Tharkus Prime have come in person to make themselves known to you, but without entourages. There will be no entertainment, no formal meal, no crowd, and nowhere to hide. Your guests are waiting for you in a small parlor, standing in a semicircle. All eyes are on you as you enter. Ooh, I like this one on the right. Your attendants announce their names. Oberrod, an adult male, Pharaoh standing proud in a gold-trimmed uniform, Rejet, an elderly Tharkan man with a short and round figure. Oh, that must be this guy. And Ozra, a no-nonsense-looking woman with Thuran scales and wings. Thuran gives you wings. Thank you all. Oh, etiquette success. Etiquette practice failed. Well, it's fine. I got basic etiquette skills here. Thank you all for coming. It's a pleasure to meet you. I hope this is only the beginning of our working relationship. You would like to speak to them each individually, but it's awkward. You have to pick one to address first, and the others would be right there watching and listening. They might feel slighted. The military guy. Rhetoric. I don't have rhetoric. That would definitely be a fail. Also around the winged woman. I do want to talk with her. The older man, it might be more courteous to address the oldest in the room. I don't know what it is in their culture, though. Hang on. Got moods. Don't care about the moods. I want to see the, not the map. Stats. Stats. Yeah, see, 0 rhetoric. That's going to be nonsense. Files. Well, we're going to save. Override that. History, config. Where is the index sort of stuff with the, you know, the words? I want to look at the thing with the words like, this is what this species is. This is what that species is. You know, that's what I want to look at. Title help. Ah, here we go. Okay. Crystal Nova, Emperor Dracosan. I don't remember which one's which. Irkin? Light blue skin, ears with pointed tips, less pronounced, greatest possible. Haircuts are considered physically weak compared to other imperial species and are more commonly found in the harem than in the military. Heru, the most recent species joined Celestial Empire, winged and feathered with eyes that never seem to blink and color patterns that seem very similar to non-Heru. Mao? 2 founding species, Celestial Empire. A Mao Prime. I don't remember where we are. Hang on, where are we located? We're on Tharkus. Okay, Tharkus. Alright, Tharkus. Alright, where were we? So we're in Tharkus, so Mao is not a Tharkus species. Okay, Mirkin and Mao, Miros don't have fur skin. Miro was the Emperor's, like, guard dude. Mirkin. Trina's father, Emperor Dracosian, was a Mirkin, but her mother was not. Dark gray skin, long pointed ears, ... Shadow Tharkan, Tharkan Prime Thera. Okay, all of these. Okay, Tharkan. Third species that joined the Celestial Empire. Tharkans have green, hairless skin, black eyes with colored irises and antennae. Old civilization from Harsh Planet, often considered the most warlike of the Imperial races. The most warlike. So maybe we have to address the dude that is the military first. A hot and arid planet, original homeworld of the Tharkan people. While their culture is much older than Mirkins or Mao's, a battle for resources caused their global civilization to collapse upon itself long ago. Some recovery has happened over millennia, remained a harsh environment. Tharo, a hybrid between Tharkan and Mao, commonly large, green, and hairy, with tall ears and black eyes. As with any hybrids, however, great variation is possible. Tharo are disproportionately represented among the laborer classes, often assumed to have more physical talents than mental. Theron, hybrid between Tharkan and Heru, commonly green and scaled with a single pair of leathery wings placed in the center of the back. As with any hybrid, however, great variation is possible. Therans have a reputation for stubbornness and carrying grudges, possibly influenced by famous Starfeed drama about obsessive revenge. And Tresson, standard period of time in Imperial culture equivalent to 13 days. Oh. Yeah, okay. Alright, so this seems like the stubborn one, but as we just went over, these are very militaristic people. I was going to be like, the military guy can wait, but after hearing that, and look, he has 3 medals. That probably means something. We're gonna speak with him first. He turned to Oberod. Honors to your house. I hope your travel was comfortable. Oberod puffs up his chest, the medals on his uniform glinting. Tell me, what is your experience with the military? Have you served a tour of duty? Surely he knows that you haven't. You are too young for official service. Is this meant to be a trick question or simply an embarrassment? Your brother joined the fleet and that didn't end well. Uh-oh. Military and combat setups failed. So I guess there could have been other options. Gunnery and spaceships. I was planning to join the Fleet Academy. I leave the military to my experts. I'm of course too young for military service as of yet, and my duties to the Empire may not allow me that freedom in the future. Of course, I understand the importance of that military to the safety of the Celestial Empire. That is why I rely on experts such as Star Admiral to advise me. Oberlin looks unimpressed. Great! The one wings twitch. Your brother was the proposed heir until quite recently. You are very young and you have not been active in galactic politics. What are your credentials? How are you qualified to rule an empire? None of these. None of these. This was a bad decision. I am a student. That makes me the best heir. Oh, yikey, yikes. My father shared his secrets with me. I don't have deception, right? Not yet. And Imperial history, I did not go into. No. I'm a student. I've not taken an active role in politics up until this point, no. That's because I've been prioritizing my education at the finest academies of Kedro, as my father wished. Learning is a lifelong goal, not something to be completed and set aside. My priorities have changed with the situation, and now I have tutors and advisors to learn from. I promise you I am not idle. Osra sniffs, visibly unimpressed. Regis clears his throat, then presses his hands flat to his sides. We know very little about you as an individual. If I may ask, are there any forms of music you find particularly enjoyable? God damn it. You never really given much thought to music beyond the latest pop sensation on Kedro. However, you don't think the electors will be impressed by singers your old schoolmates thought were to die for. You heard a few famous composers from American history, of course, would that too? Do that for now. I'm very fond of Dersin's school of Black Macram. The emotions are so intense. After a good performance, everyone in the audience is weeping. Perhaps he is too dry to appreciate solid American music. And now perhaps some refreshments? At your signal, servants enter bearing trays of light. This could have gotten so much better. Light beverage and exquisite cheese. Small talk must continue, but the pressure will now be less because there's cheese. That's the power of cheese. You need some time to think before you can decide how they feel about you. Oberod, Regis, and Nosrat added to the codex. Now that you have met the electors of the region, you can contact them privately during your future social phases in this sector. I'm in compliant territory. Search for problems. Relax by the pool. Nah, search for problems. Cautious. It is the duty of a good leader to find and solve problems before they blow up into emergencies. You walk around the palace, checking in with different offices and looking for anything that needs to be set right. Did I find anything? I guess the answer is no. There was no problems here. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. I don't know how much I really want to move from this area yet. I feel like these people hate me. And they have every right to, based on everything. I'm just some sort of figurehead at the moment. We'll stay put, so we have an extra social interaction. Your screen is chiming insistently. Someone on your contacts list is trying to call you. Hello? Who is this? Is this her brother? Oh, it's V. Oh, her school friend. Hello, Zorana. Oh, hello, Vasily. And Kay pushes her way into view. Zorana, we're here to support you in your hour of need. Well, we're not here yet. I mean, we're here, but we're not there here. But we could be if you want. What? What she's saying is that we would like to visit you in Heavenly Palace if that's not an imposition. You shouldn't be alone at a time like this. And you shouldn't have to deal with entertaining us or trying to look the right amount of sad if that's more stress for you. However, if you would enjoy the distraction and the hugs and the chance to show off all your new stuff, then we would happily fly out to see you. Do you want to see your friends? At least they don't want anything political from you. Probably. but you're still pretty overwhelmed with everything you need to manage here. Do you have time to play hostess? They definitely mean well, and that probably would help her mentally. But how is that gonna look on the outside is the question here. She has to worry more about this sort of stuff. Princess in waiting. Father just recently passed and her friends come over to party. Maybe that's how it'll be looked at. It could also be that one of these two is not as friendly as they ought to be. You know what I mean? They could be there to be like, we can just her off. She wouldn't even know it's gonna happen. We should have a quiet visit. Okay, I'm glad that's an option. We'd love to have you visit, but it may not be that exciting. Everything in turmoil around here currently, That's fine. We're happy to be just with you, Thank you. We'll see you soon. All right. So we're back into like the basic stuff again. Okay. Demolition and repair we gone into. Hiding intrusion. What has this done for me specifically? I can't learn anything about gunnery stuff right now, for certain. I'm glad I learned a little bit of etiquette, at least. There is that. Deception would have been a good option too, but I would have definitely offended everyone if I had not picked etiquette. I still think galactic relations, for certain. I want that up. And then... hiding, repair, demolition. I think actually I might do... intrigue. Very useful in plotting your strategy. Learn who is, with who. What would be useful for my friends to be here, I wonder? Empathy? Wait, I have an empathy thing? Oh god. Empathy. Get some empathy in there. Okay. You don't have the bonus points, but they're the learning points that I need. You wait eagerly for your friends to disembark. I wait eagerly. Zorana! She runs up and throws her arms around you in a hug of greeting. That V follows more sedately, not laying any hands on you in this very public environment. That's wise. How are you? Have you been sleeping okay? You look tired. What have you done? What have you done with you? She fusses over your hair while you try to explain about the election and the need to assemble a team of advisors. That must be very difficult, putting your fate in the hands of strangers you cannot trust. Hey, yeah, that's a marvelous idea. What is? We could be your advisors. I know a lot about other galactic cultures, and Vasily knows all about art and stuff, and then you have people on your team that you trust. Also, if you can point us to your cabinet, then we'd be assigned quarters in the palace, and we could stay here longer. Otherwise, we can only visit for Tristan. I don't know. Don't decide anything right away. We would be happy to help, even if it's only for a little while, but you may have many responsibilities. If you want to make those plans, we can talk later. That's right, that's right. For now, you need to show us around your palace. Oh god, there's so much going on here. We get an extra turn to talk with people. So they got crowns, huh? I kind of want to learn a little bit more about this planet. So, let's talk with Ozara. I like her. Voting status undecided. Opinions are unknown. Alignment. Analyze voting history unlocks at Imperial History 30. Investigate background. Explore social network. Negotiate. Offer cabinet position. Charm and flatter. What in the... Investigate background. Can I do that right now? I should try it. You dig into the background of Azar, Elector of Tharkus Prime. Azar is a proud and well-educated woman in her middle age. While she is active in politics, she concerns herself more with the management of her personal fortunes. She is a successful and ruthless businesswoman. No wonder she responded the way she did. Not many shoes I have, by the way. That's too many. As a hobby, she apparently breeds insects. Unusual. Ozara is married to a Tharkan woman named Gozalv, a tall but quiet partner who is fond of gardening. The marriage is apparently happy and they have recently welcomed an heir, a son. Ozara is engaged in a constant battle with one business rival, Shostaran in particular, forever undercutting and outbidding each other as they squabble for power and control. While many of her business tactics might be unethical or mildly illegal, none are scandalous enough to outrage the public. You could, however, threaten to support her rival over her. Blackmail option unlocked? Yikes. Yikes. Hang on. Do I have any options with you yet? Learn more about Corinda. You need the skill to investigate on your own. I see. So this is based on my intrigue with her. Offer cabinet position, computer lessons. Okay. I could investigate another one of them. Of these two. But that would mean I only get to talk with one. Wait a second. Oh wait, no. The gray is the one that's used. Okay. One of your best friends from school. She comes from a noble family, but not related to any electors. Kay likes jewelry, gauzy dresses, romantic fantasies. She's interested in stories of magic and supernatural powers, especially if they have something to do with Crystal Nova. She was a better student than you were at school, especially when it came to operating computers. She loves prying into secrets and digging up forgotten rumors, whether they're true or not. She's enthusiastic, bubbly, and a bundle of energy. And what about V here? He's one of your best friends from school. He comes from a wealthy family, but not related to any electors. V is handsome, artistic, very popular with your fellow students. He's always had a crowd of admirers, male and female, and treat them kindly, but has never been involved in a serious romance. You're not even sure what he prefers. He is intelligent, but doesn't like to put in extra effort if he doesn't have to, and charms his way out of most responsibilities. Still, he's always been there for you when you needed him. See, that's loyalty speaking right there at the bottom. That's very important. Even if he's not, like, top of the class. You don't need that. It's like, can I trust you? Is the question we have here. And I don't know 100% if we can, but this leads me to think that we might be able to. Let's try talking with him. V sits down with you for a crash course on artistic design. Hey, 10 visuals. Your visual arts skills increase. Oh, we didn't actually have a conversation. All right. That was interesting. Okay. Well, I would like to take a look at this dude's background here. You dig into the background of Regit, or Elector Athorcus Prime. Regit is the scion of a very old and well-regarded Tharkan family. He was born into power and privilege and has never stepped outside the lines of behavior that were laid out for him. He enjoys arts, music, and his collection of black inlaid metal decanters. For most of his life, R has been married to Arhan, a woman who is also his second cousin, rejoining the family lines and concentrating their inheritance. The couple makes all proper appearances together, but do not seem very affectionate. R and R have one son, Karj, who is about your age and still a student living at home with his parents. R recently gave birth to a daughter, but the child died before she was even 1 season old. Oh, that's sad. It appears that R and R pushed for the baby's death to be labeled natural causes without any investigation, claiming it was too much strain at such a difficult time. The child was quickly buried, never to be mentioned again. It might have a simple tragedy, or might be that one parent or the other is hiding a terrible secret. That could be quite a scandal. Of course, you have no proof of wrongdoing. Proposal option unlocked and blackmail option unlocked because of the possible marriage prospect. Let's go into making a list of enemies. Negative. You think about all the people who have disrespected you, noting their names and plotting potential revenge. Revenge! I was just thinking, like, these are the people that were bad to me. That's what I was thinking with that list. Yikes. We'll stay put for one more cycle. You make your way to the cabinet room, yawning. K and V left late last night, but Saito dragged you out of bed first thing in the morning for an important meeting. I thought I would. They said 1 cycle. I would have thought that I could make that decision now as to whether to keep him in the cabinet. That was a mistake. Okay. We have received a message from Star Admiral. All right, you need to meet with him to discuss your candidacy for the throne. He doesn't have an official electoral vote, but as the head of the Imperial military, his support or lack of it will affect how others see you. He reports that Iskavetel has been sighted far past the drug system in unaffiliated space. Iskavel are something... Ooh, galactic relations. Yeah, okay, success. Are something like giant space moths. They cluster around stars to feed, blocking out the light. A swarm of them plunged the Novan homeworld into an ice age, nearly wiping out their civilization. That was long time ago in a galaxy far away, but it's hard to forget. Unfortunately, as space-dwelling organisms, they're impervious to most damage and nearly impossible to kill. The creature is not currently on a direct course for Imperial space, but their movement patterns are unpredictable. It could approach Draug. It's a single Iskravdil. Is. And the Draug system has no planets to threaten. The danger is not high. Spirituality fail. Admiral Yoko awaits your instructions. I think he was praying or something then. Oh boy. What do you want the Star Admiral and his flagship to do? Okay, where's the history button? Candidacy, Star Admiral said... Oh, we want to do something that works with the Star Admiral. So Star Admiral let us know about this happening. Decided far past the drug system, unaffiliated space. Giant space moths cluster around the stars to feed, blocking out light. A swarm of them plunged the Novan homeworld into an ice age. They're wiping out. That's just 1, though. Unfortunately, space-dwelling organisms, they're impervious to most damage, nearly impossible to kill. Nearly impossible to kill, impervious to damage. Creature is not currently on a direct course for Imperial space, but their movement patterns are unpredictable. It could approach Draug. Unpredictable, very threatening to civilization, but very hard to destroy one of them. The drug system has no planets to threaten. The danger is not high. I mean, just because they're in the drug system now doesn't mean... Rendezvous with the palace. Let's just take position in the drug system. We need to monitor the situation. Tell the Admiral to take up position in the drug sector and keep watch. Very well. Okay, that's that for that. Okay, so now we're in the darkness. We just upped on visuals. Making things visually appearing. Could be dramatic or do musical stuff. I'm very tempted to do musical stuff, but I don't... I'm expecting we're gonna get a death soon. It's gotta happen. There's always so many deaths in these games. Let's do visual so that we can max on that a bit more. And I want to do Untrig also. I know I said galactic relations. That just saved our butts quite a bit there. Just learning more about that. Visual arts. Yay. Okay, now what do we do? So I want to learn more about you. Wait, it looks like we lost an option for you. What's the one missing? Oh, the heart. Wait, what? Why do you have a heart? Charm and flatter. Propose engagement. Oh, with their son. Okay, let's investigate your background here. We dig in the background of Oberod, Elector of Tharkas Prime. Oberod commissioned in the Celestial Fleet at a young age, as soon as legally allowed. He ranked well in his class, became an officer, and was decorated for his skills as a pilot. However, he did not take part in much actual combat. He served a full tour in the fleet and then returned to Tharkas Prime as a reservist who regularly parades with the Safari Guard. It is largely ceremonial positions, but does require maintaining battle fitness. Oberon's wife, His wife, comes from a much lower social class and was originally his concubine. To the surprise of Thorkin society, after leaving active duty, Oberad chose to elevate her status through marriage. No heirs have ever been reported for the couple. Is rarely seen in public with her husband, but when she does appear, she acts silent and subservient, following his wake with his eyes downcast. If Oberad is terrorizing his dependent wife, that might be a scandal, but there is no evidence. She might only be naturally timid or afraid that people might judge her for her origins. Blackmail option unlocked. We have some thoughts to pursue. I don't really want to do blackmail if I don't need to. Explore social network. What does this do? Investigating the relationship of Ozar, Elector, of Thorkus Prime. Ozar is allied with all these people. Irelati and Mao, Olekto in Thorkus 2, Jade and Harrow 4, Eve and Harrow 3. Thopter, Mirka 1, and Sola Thorkus 3 are enemies of Ozara. Alright, we learned some things that I will not remember. Is that going to be listed here? Yes, it is! Yay! Analyze voting history unlocks at Imperial History 30. Okay, we need to learn Imperial History, it looks like. Okay. I'm gonna try and talk with Kodondi. I need to know if there's any alerts. Good day, Imperial Princess. Agents are aware of any current threats to your personal safety. That's good, at least. Alright, cool. I don't know if that's really worth doing anything or not. Cautious or secretive? Let's write in the diary. Let's be secretive. You hole up in your room to record your most secret thoughts in your private diary.
Dear diary, I'm a princess. Look at me being all princessy. Do.
Do I want to stay put again? Or do I want to move? I kind of want to move out a little bit this time. Although there's no one to talk to that I want to talk to here. You know what? Let's just check the rest of the Thorkus area. We started with one. Let's go to... and we can go to Mao. I know I wanted to go over to Heru. But I think at this point, if I want to try and maximize stuff, let's go to Thorkus 3 and then 2. There's one elector here. Interesting. Your Imperial Highness, a request for aid has been sent to the Heavenly Palace by Ambassador in space. Elective relations student failed. Our big blue have horns. That's all about you know about them. Damn it, I should have done more studying on that. They're space borders of the Celestial Empire, but you've never seen one on their homeworlds. They have apprehended a Thorkin merchant, a citizen of Sargas, and are holding him on charges of smuggling recreational drugs through their space without paying the proper fees. Etiquette and deception economics. Oh my god. So much failing. The charges appear to be valid. They wish to sentence him for a lifetime of hard labor. The merchant is pleading for intervention. Lifetime enslavement seems like a harsh punishment for not paying taxes on a shipment. Shouldn't he just have been fined? What is your response? You're obviously nowhere near the situation. What can you actually do about it? Send legal aid to the merchant? Well, that's clearly showing sides, though. It's a Tharkin problem. Hang on. Where are we? We're in Tharkus. Log files. Stats. I can't see what everyone else is like aligned with here on that screen. I want to go back to that one screen that says like, oh, so-and-so is with this and this. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna have to wash my hands of it. This doesn't need Imperial intervention. It's a Tharkin problem, and Tharkin senators ought to be handling it. Pass the issue back to Komitia. Very well. Have a good day. I don't know what else to do for that. Okay, so right now my pros are in piloting, body control, and stealth. Although it seems that I need to learn more about Imperial history. Clearly, I need more Imperial history and economics. Who knew? I don't know anything. Give me all the history. Give me. Service updated. During the decline and fall of the first global Thorcan civilization, Sargas would have represented a paradise, a world containing all the water that once filled their parched canals. The entire surviving population might have fled there had it been possible. Even now, legends persist that some early cosmonauts might have managed the journey and escaped to happier lives. However, no relics from that time period have ever been discovered in the watery depths. Imperial history failed. Oh no, it didn't. I tried. In modern times, Svargus is a well-established community of floating cities and undersea habitats. Its 3 small moons contain research stations, communication relays, and other technological outgrowths, but they are considered part of the greater whole. Svargus has a reputation of being younger and more progressive than the rest of the Thorcan system. Much of the visiting delegation appears to have dressed more for a nightclub than an imperial reception, and the Electra herself is only slightly older than you. Wow, she does seem very young. Zorana, hello! So lovely to see you and lovely to be seen. She spins about, showing off colors which your eyes seem painfully bright. Welcome to Svargus, Your Imperial Highness. Of course, I'm sorry about your father, but we're very happy to have you. You must be so bored from the long travel and all these arrangements. I hope you don't mind. I've brought along a range of dance partners for you. Have anyone you like. Have them, all of them. Etiquette basic success. Practice failed. Her manners are appalling. Is this meant to be an insult? You're very nearly an empress, not someone to be waved and shouted at. You cannot allow her to treat you this way. You raise your head looking down your nose at her. Madam Elector? The Heavenly Palace is neither a circus nor a nightclub. We are not here to carouse, but to discuss the future of the Celestial Empire. Neither of us has the luxury of being a child, or of being stupid. I do not underestimate you, and I expect the same courtesy. I see. My apologies, Your Imperial Highness. No offense was intended. You wave a hand. You are forgiven. Now come, we must make the rounds and greet our guests. Sola follows in your wake, more subdued now, and causes no further disruption. Her husband, whom you eventually remembers to introduce, she eventually remembered to introduce her husband, oh geez, is properly differential. Empathy basic success. You can't tell how she feels about you. Sola. Organize your closets, or brood somewhere quietly. Organize your closets, why not? I feel determined to do something good. You sort through your belongings, carrying some away to storage and organizing others to be more convenient for your use. It helps you to clear your head. Let's stay put. I want to try talking with some people on this planet. Good morning, Your Imperial Highness. We must now discuss the matter of the Jubilee holiday. Celebration of my father's birth star rising. As we officially have no emperor at the moment, it would not be unreasonable to postpone the Jubilee until after a successful election. Democracy and economics fail. Ugh. We could maintain the current schedule and celebrate in honor of Emperor Dracosin on turn 28. Imperial history success. Celebrating the birth star of a deceased ruler helps cement them as a legendary patron, someone whose acts will live on long after their death. I would show respect for my father, but treating him as an eternal leader might make any other candidate for the throne look weaker by comparison. Or using your position as Emperor's daughter, you could move the Jubilee to match your own birth star, turn 15. That could help cement my position as the next ruler of the Eyes of the Empire. Etiquette fail. What are your commands? I don't think it'd be right to change it at this time without me actually being the Empress. So let's just keep it as it is for the moment. Let's keep things stable. The Jubilee should celebrate my father's birth star. I'll make a note of it. Okay. So we have pros on body control, condition, and engineering. There's also galactic relations and imperial history that are really bugging me. Rhetoric. Empathy isn't a minus, otherwise I would go for that right now too. I want to do Imperial history and galactic relations again, because that seems to be getting us some good context at least. It might not save our butts, but it gives us context, and that's important. You can now use the Analyze Voting Records action to check the elector's voting alignment. Yes. We have received a report from Star Admiral. From the Star Admiral. The fleet is preparing to resume regular patrols around the Empire. That may make him more difficult to contact. You can locate the Pew Pew fleet by looking around the map. Your Highness, I need your input on a matter of security, a large, unimportant matter, but one that you might wish to exercise discretion while handling. A visitor to the palace, a Hyrcan laborer, became publicly intoxicated and made a nuisance of himself. Among other things, he was loudly shouting that the Emperor Dracosen has been murdered by your hand. What? Obvious drunken nonsense, but as it concerns your reputation, you may wish to take a personal hand in the matter. We have him in custody, awaiting your decision. Media basic fail. Obviously do not murder your father. Is it possible that someone did? Did this Hyrcan know anything? Is there truth in the wine, or is it just drunken rambling? Media fail, science fail. Interrogate him for clues? What? Punish him for drunkenness only. Listen. Listen. I may be an emperor, and he may say shit like that. I don't want people to think I'm, like, covering something up, though. Just punish him for being publicly drunk, okay? People say foolish things when they had too much to drink. Treating it like a serious matter would only look more suspicious. I would securely normally handle someone being drunk and obnoxious. Lock up overnight and fine for causing an inconvenience. Do that, then. Yeah. Here we go. Alright, we want to learn more about Sola. Do you have anything else to say? I don't think so, right? Okay. Undecided, no opinion. Let's investigate her background. Dig in the background of Sola, Elector Svargas. Sola is young for her position, but extremely popular in Svargazi society, especially after her elaborate wedding festival festivities, in which she rented an entire town to turn into a non-stop party for the rich and famous. Oh, that's her angle, is it? Okay. She and her husband have no children at this time, and none likely in the near future. In less exalted levels of society, however, Sola has a reputation for luring young, poor, low-caste males into her service only to turn them into toys for her pleasure. As mere servants, they lack the legal protections of official concubines. Many quickly retire from her service with mysterious injuries or drug addictions. I don't like this lady. These activities appear to be an open secret, quietly joked about but never criticized. It might be possible to turn it into a scandal. Blackmail option has been unlocked. Let's analyze her voting history. It can't be that long. You analyze the voting history of Sola, Elector of Svargas, looking for patterns to predict future support. Within the Imperial Division, Sola is mostly loyal to the Tharkans. Sola is in favor of placing new, younger people in positions of power over those who may have grown out of touch through too many fiefdoms of service. Sola prefers a looser approach to protocol with more personal interactions and time to relax. In her view, the point of life is to enjoy it. Sola respects swift action and willingness to take risks to accomplish a goal. She can become frustrated by lengthy information gathering or caution, seeing it as dithering. Sola is interested in expanding the influence of the Celestial Empire through increased contact with alien powers. Very interesting. Okay. So she is about having fun. That's just, she's not very much in the consequence mind frame, is she? Negotiate, huh? I would not want her in a cabinet position. That just seems like utter foolishness. Explore social networks. Investigating the relationships of Sola, Elector of Svargas. Sola is allied with Jade in Hero 4, Eve in Hero 3, and Shapadok in Hero 2, so only in the Hero section. Pixel Mirka 1. Okay, so Mirka 1 to Tharkis 1, Ozora, are enemies. So those are pretty polar opposite people, so I can see that. Mirka 1 and 2, one by Hero 1, Kyardar Hero 2 are enemies. Okay. Observe the staff. March with the guard. What does Bolt do for me? Night social. I still kind of want to go with more history and galactic relations a little bit, though science. What does the media do for me? Popular culture, interconnections of galactic networks, and how to spread a message throughout the Empire. Knowledge of media is crucial in managing your image, delivering propaganda, as well as understanding how your messages are being received by the public. And a spirituality. I guess I'm not that concerned if I'm bold or not. I think that's a fun thing to do. So let's go march with the guard. Why not? Have some fun. Bold. You visit the palace guard and arrange to accompany one of the number on patrol. Alright, I think I'm done with Farkas 3. There wasn't that much to do. Let's go to Farkas 2. Where is the military? Oh, they're over in the Drog. That's right, I sent them there. I should get there myself. Entering Farkas 2 sector. Starfeed update. Princess, have you seen the latest news across Starfeeds? I just got up. This concerns your father. The Vershtik beckons you closer to look at the feed display. The sound has been muted, but on the screen you can hear an unfamiliar American woman cradling an infant. The text scrolling across the bottom reads, Emperor Dracosen's secret heir? This woman claims to have conceived the Emperor's son and requests the palace aid in claiming his birthright. Who is she? Is that one of my father's concubines? You don't recognize her, but you can't say that you remember every face your father's harem. This was not an area of his life that you paid much attention to. No, an unmarried woman of common family and middling income. She apparently came into contact with the Emperor during one of his visits on Andro. The children's genetics have not yet been verified. Even if her story is true, if she's not a wife or concubine and the child was never officially acknowledged, and it wasn't your father's, will was quite clear that he has no son now. Such a baby has no birthright to claim. Under Imperial law, family is a matter of contract and obligation, not genes. Many children are not genetically related to one or even both of their parents. Children can be conceived artificially. Genes can be edited before birth. If someone finds an unscrupulous doctor, genes can even be stolen. Creating a child of someone's genes without their permission is illegal, and it does happen, especially with celebrities or other prominent figures. Your father was certainly prominent. This story is nothing but tabloid gossip. No one in the Empire would seriously imagine that this baby was the heir to anything. But if it is in some way your father's child, what are you going to do about it? Imperial history, success. Yeah, success. Whoever this woman is, she's Mirkin. That means the child's heritage is not mixed in the way that is yours. There are people in the Empire who might prefer a pure-blooded heir. Fail in media, fail in Imperial history practice during bureaucracy. Adopt the child myself, or ignore the story. Jeez. Ugh. Can I see that log again of the failures? No, I want to see the failure logs. History. I wanted to see what my skill checks failed was. Please, let me see. I want to know what I failed. Ignore the story, adopt the child yourself. I don't think it would make sense for me to adopt the child. I mean, there's no proof that we're related. None. Ignore the story. It's nothing but sensationalist scandal chasing, bad journalism. The baby doesn't matter. There might not even be a baby. How do we even know that's not a doll she's holding? Ignore the whole thing. Very well. If that's resolved, then I have an update on the drunk Harkin who slandered your name. He has not repeated the offense since his release. It's not clear if he even remembers it. No sign of any new rumors in circulation. That's dealt with. You have studying to do. Okay, it seems that we need to do some media for certain. Because yikes. Okay, so I'm bold. So that means I can do some combat. I can do some sports. I can do some piloting. We are just going to a new area. It might be wise for me to learn something new. A hair. You receive a report from the Imperial Fresher. Our agents have heard rumors that Mazarin, the rogue shadow that served your father, was sighted en route to the Twin Worlds. However, none of these rumors came from anyone who knew him well enough to be certain of his identity. By the time agents were dispatched, the former shadow was nowhere to be found, if he was ever there at all. There's no cause for concern. The Fresher will continue to monitor the situation. primary function of the inner system planets has always been to supply resources to the homeworld after the rise and fall of the first great Tharkan civilization stripped it nearly bare. Both worlds are far wetter than Farkas Prime and contain great mineral wealth. Charkagola and Garfron. The first planet, Charkagola, is a boiling sea above a volcanic core, which spits out hot metal bombs and rare alloys. The second planet, Gakthron, resembles a vast swampland with a wide variety of planets and animal life. These worlds are of immense strategic importance, but will never have the same prestige. The same sense of history and epic struggle. The elite are wealthy and powerful, but always fix their gazes on the true nobility elsewhere. Bureaucracy failed, etiquette failed. Awesome. As the most important person in attendance, you wait for the festivities to be in full swing before making your grand entrance. I'm surprised I've survived this long without a single death, by the way. That's not how I remember Long Live the Queen. I remember dying pretty quickly the first time I played that. Once all eyes are upon you, you speak words of welcome, then grant them permission to return to their own conversations. You're not yet empress enough to command the whole assembly into silence for hours. You sweep your gaze over the assembled guests, picking the electors out of the crowd. Electo, Elector of Shakragola, is easily enough to identify. A man of mature age, he is unusually tall for even a Tharo. His frame does not look at all muscular, but he is almost certainly far stronger than you. Electo is unmarried, though as much younger male appears to be attending with him. That might be his son, but he looks purely Tharkan. More likely he's a new companion, or even a recent addition to the Elector's harem. The other Electors, Lorcus, as well-dressed middle-aged Tharkan woman with a glass of blue wine in her hand. That sounds interesting, actually. That I would be down to take a look at that myself, IRL. She is married, but her husband is not with her. He appears to be on the far side of the room, enjoying himself in the company of other women. Is that blue? I don't feel that looks blue. I mean, the glass is orange, so I don't know. Noticing your attention, she immediately makes her way over to you. Greetings and welcome, Your Imperial Highness. It has been a long time. Have you met her before? You don't remember her at all. Of course, everyone in the Empire knows who you are, and until recently you were more interested in remembering your friends' schedules than remembering the face of every politician in the Empire. Ask about the details. I mean, you can't remember everything. I'm sorry, when did we meet before? It was at the ceremony of remembrance for the Empress. Oh, of course. It was a difficult time for you. I'm sure you don't remember me. You haven't wanted to remember much of anything about that time. You were a child confused by the loss of a mostly absent parent and angry at the way strangers wanted to fawn over you. Mood change negative. Oh. And now here you are, living it all over again, older but even more alone. These things are going to happen again and again. My condolence on your father's passing. He was truly a great man. Affected by mood negative. It hurts to hear your father praised considering what he's done to your life. He may have been a great man, but he was not a great father. We scarcely even met. He was a stranger to me. He did not train you as his heir. Oh, interaction student failed. No, only my brother. I've barely even been to the palace before he... Too late. You realize that you have just indicated how poorly prepared you are for your position. I was, of course, privately educated at the finest academy in Kedro. Of course. This was probably a mistake. I see. Electo hovering nearby. I have... Better stop monopolizing your attention before he feels the need to plot his revenge. The two Electors much engage in a certain amount of competition for prestige. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. She bows to you and retreats politely, stepping away to avoid turning her back to you. Empathy failed, but, basic. You can't tell how she feels about you. Whoa, yeah, he's tall. The Elector of Shakagola is swift to step into your circle of attention. Once his semi-rival has withdrawn. A bit too close. You need to crane your neck up to look at him in the eye. He is infernally tall. Menace fail, body control fail. Uncomfortable, you take a small step backwards. His shaggy green face looks pinched in, as if he's bitten into something unpleasant. Perhaps it's a sign of age, for his low, rumbling voice sounds polite enough. You honor the Tharkan system with your presence, Your Imperial Highness. It is my pleasure to be here. The younger man who was with Electo earlier is no longer in evidence. He didn't bring his companion over to be introduced? Does that mean something? Probably something superficial, then. Truly it was a day of great sorrow or shame. Let's hope it's not that. Truly, it was a great day of great sorrow when your father left us. There's a hint of disapproval in that statement. A sad day because it meant you would inherit it? What would he know? He's never even met you before, and I doubt he was any sort of confidant of your father's. Or was he? Did you know him well? Let's be polite. Were you particularly close to my father then? He pauses. Imperial Comitia. I cannot claim the privilege. I'm only a humble servant of the Imperial Comitia. Indeed. Negative mood, affected. Who does this pompous green giant think he is anyway? Humble, he most certainly is not. I look forward to speaking with you again later. The tall male recognizes his dismissal and withdraws. He can't tell how he feels about you. You take a deep breath, restoring your calm. There are still hours of social interaction left behind you. I need to work on my empathy. You turn in search of other dignitaries. You briefly meet the gaze of young Tharkan man who stands once again by Electo's side. He shoots you a friendly grin and tilts his head, encouraging you to come closer. You quickly turn away. That is a complication you do not need. Instead, you move on to the Premier Gakathon, a notorious bore. This may be a long evening. Search for traps. Okay, so do I want to be searching for traps or writing in diary? Okay, what is going to be better for my empathy? Let's see. We want indulgent or social? We don't want secretive and we don't want determined. Okay, so that was a good check on that. All right, cautious is fine. You examine the room in detail, hunting for any hidden traps. Never be too careful. We will stay put. When you wake, you find a message waiting from Veshtar's flagged important, not urgent, or someone would probably have insisted on getting you out of bed at once. You read through the message and immediately feel your pulse increase. A major Starfeed producer has requested access to do an interview with you for a biographical special. You can't afford to say no to this. It's a chance to make a positive impression across the entire empire, or a terrible one across the entire empire, girlfriend. Don't do it. Don't do it. This could shape the course of the election. Unfortunately, you don't have long to prepare. The reporter will arrive after this turn's classes. What's wrong with you? Alright, we might have to change things up then. Compliance social. Okay, convincing someone to agree with cause or whipping up support. Okay, if we're going to be on TV, we have to be more savvy. Okay. Okay, we want media for certain. And I think rhetoric would be a good one to go with. I don't fathom that this is going to be the best thing. But if we have to do this, make do with what'll be happening. You can now denounce an elector, which will please their enemies and alienate their allies. It's time for your big interview. What impression do you want to give to the Empire? How do you want people to think of you? I don't know, but I wanna save for this, so I'd be like, oh. Oh. No. Let's return. Oh my. Oh my. Well, we can't do strong commander because we don't have any menace or military. We can't do beautiful princess because I don't have the allure arts, so we're gonna have to go with rhetoric and imperial history. Rhetoric, we're gonna fail on. Imperial history, we talked for a while about the importance of the emperor as a source of continuity, a repository of knowledge over time, and someone in a position to look at the larger picture rather than be forever chasing short-term goals. Unfortunately, you fumble when asked for examples to demonstrate your point. Being wise and calm is just obviously a good thing, isn't it? At last, you wrap up the interview with an inspiring speech. Rhetoric failed. You encourage the Empire to show their patriotism by pledging their complete obedience to you. Was that too much? Well, you tried. Afterward, the team insists that everything went well, but that's their job after all. Yep, this is really bad. Quite bad. All right. I don't think we have very many people on our side at this point. Let's take a look at for things. Investigate background. Taking the background of Lorcas, Elector of Gakthorn. Lorcas first inherited her position when she was younger than you are now. She was meant to be under the guidance of a regent, but quickly arranged her own marriage to Jurin, an older nobleman, in order to claim full adult privileges and push her regent out of the way. The marriage has unfortunately never been a happy one. Lorcas and her husband used to use each other for business, purposes when necessary, but do not appear to be affectionate or even friends. That's just sad. That's just so sad. If you're gonna marry someone, you should, listen, they're in the political game. That's just what they're gonna be doing with people, is just pawns and such. I just think that's very unfortunate. That's not what marriage is meant for, really. At least in my view. So, they maintain a facade of living together to raise their child, but Lorcas estates are large enough that they can pursue their own interests without ever needing to interact. Her husband spends much of his time managing a stable that breeds large reptiles for competition. Hey, whatever gets you through the day, I guess. It is an open secret on Gakthorn that Lorcas has a long-term illicit lover. Not a concubine, but a man of society who is himself respectably married. Rumor says they actually met for the first time at Lorcas' wedding. The breach of etiquette is mildly scandalous, but society generally looks the other way about such things as long as they aren't too blatant about it. Lorcas' only child is her daughter, Jacki, who is around your age, and a known fashion plate. She is never photographed in public wearing the same outfit twice. Jacki is not yet engaged to anyone and might be available for marriage alliance. That could be interesting. Investigate the background. I don't think the blackmail would go anywhere, nor would I want to do that to her. She seems like a nice person, so far. You dig into the background of Elector Shakagola. Electco is a mature male of mixed Mao and Tharkan heritage. He has never been married. He was not born of the highest rank, but has worked hard to advance through business and politics. Electco was once engaged to a Tharkan man who died before their wedding could take place. So sad. Since they were never officially married, Electco was denied legal permission to use his intended genes to create a child. Hi, Blacktails. Good morning. Good to see you. It is very late, and I do have to work tomorrow, so I'm waiting for one death to happen in this game before that I cut things. So hopefully, fingers crossed, something happens within the next half hour. Let's see here. Deny permission to have a child. That sucks. Shortly afterwards, Electco produced an heir, Jaxor, allegedly his clone son. However, Jaxor does not look much like his father, nor does he show any signs of Mao heritage. This isn't impossible. Genes can be edited before birth to adjust a child's appearance and other traits. Jaxor could be a proper clone son, tweaked to slightly resemble Electco's lost partner. It would, however, be something of a scandal if it turns out that Electco's heir was born from stolen genes. Jaxor, that must be the young man you saw at the reception, the one who smiled at you. He's a student at a specialist academy on Shakagola and popular among his classmates. Unfortunately, you don't have time to make friends. Jaxor is currently unmarried and might be an option for alliance. Okay. So that's interesting. I want to know what her alliances are because I want to stay on her good side. But I also am interested in her voting history. So let's do that. Analyze the voting history for her. Within the Imperial divisions, Lorcas is most loyal to the Tharkans. Lorcas is in favor of placing new, younger people in position of power over those who may have grown out of touch through too many frithms of service. Lorcas was personally loyal to the Emperor Dracosend and easily swayed by his opinions on political matters. So she is more inclined to be on our side too, so that's good to know. Alright, let's go into compliant here. Visit all Mazer palaces. You need to know what's on their schedule, blah blah blah. I think we can stay here one more turn. Where are the military? They're in Harrow. I wonder why they're in Harrow. Interesting. I guess nothing came of the Drog stuff going on. That's good. You awaken when your lights turn on by themselves. That can't mean anything good. Princess Zorana, please report to the cabinet chambers at your earliest convenience. Oh boy, what's happening now? You dress yourself swiftly and make your way to the room. What's the emergency? Not an emergency exactly, but a change in circumstances. The Veshtark beckons you over to look at another Starfeed news display. You recognize the Mirkin man on screen immediately. It's Lukomir, Elector of Kedro. Lukomir is well-connected scion from a long line of politicians. The academy you attended until recently lay within the territory he represents, and he was a frequent speaker at graduation ceremonies. Among the wider public, he has a reputation for being an affable toff, prone to minor gaffes, and sporting a mop of eternally unruly hair. Commoners think he's a bit of an idiot, but they think of him fondly. He's a fond idiot. The Veshark brings up the sound so you can hear him speaking. Oh, I did not expect a space sim for the colors and dialogue interface. Oh yeah, it's one of those, are you familiar with the game called Long Live the Queen? This is by those same makers, where basically you choose skills and everything to up on everything, and based on your decisions, you live and die, pretty much. So far I've been skirting by, but I've had a lot of failures. Descendant of Empress Palatina the Great, I formally announced my candidacy for Celestial Throne. He's entering election? It's more of a confirmation than a question, of course. That's what he's doing. You know his family had imperial ties, your distant cousins multiple times over. Thanks to the interconnections of Mirkin politics, imperial blood isn't even a legal requirement to stand for election, although it certainly helps to gather support. You are your father's designated heir, but you're still a young and untried girl. Lukomir is an adult with friends across the Empire. Is it possible he could defeat you? How bad is it? Bad? It's neither bad or good, it simply is. What I mean was, how much support do you think he has? That is what the election will determine. Sidio really doesn't give a fuck about us, does he? Don't you care about who wins? I serve the Empire. As a civil servant, it is my duty to remind you that only a sitting emperor or empress can appoint or dismiss an elector. The comitia as a whole may rule an elector ineligible to vote, but only in extreme situations such as complete loss of mental capacity or proven attempt to assassinate a candidate. You cannot remove him. Wait, does that mean he gets the vote for himself? Yes it does. Well, that's one vote you won't be winning. You need to step up your game. If you can secure binding pledges from electors to vote for you, then they won't be able to support any other candidate. Okay, what to work on this time? I think we could work on our rhetoric a bit more after that last fiasco going on. That was terrible. And, I think also I should do something in this area, huh? Yeah. I love democracy. Democracy is good, but that's not the society that this game takes place in for certain. Certainly not. I could do more media. I could start going to science. I'm just like, there's so many things I'm spreading out in. But you do need a lot of skills in order to pass a lot of checks, is the thing. You know what? I need more empathy so I can understand how people feel about me when they leave the conversation. There we go. 25 in rhetoric. You return to your room and find an important message light flashing. When you pull up the message, the sender's names appear to be a sequence of random glyphs. How did this get past your security filters? Are these symbols an abbreviation for an obscure government department? Oh boy. There's a short video attached to the message, something about Lukomir's candidacy maybe? You open the file and freeze. Those figures on your screen, they're your parents. This is not a living message to their future daughter. It's a recording of an argument. They're in the palace. You recognize your father's rooms, though the decorations have changed a little, and this was clearly filmed ages ago. They're talking about you. Your father speaks. Now that your daughter has been born, and your mother cuts him off angry in a way that you've never seen her in any photograph before. That thing is not my daughter. It is your creature, and I refuse to have any part in it. And there the file cuts off. How do you know they're talking about me and not like a concubine? Who would send you something like this? Maybe it's a misunderstanding. It's only a few moments out of context. Maybe they weren't talking about you at all. Or maybe your mother hated you. What an awful thing to say about a baby. Her child, which you obviously are. Legally, you are a child of the marriage. Biologically, you're Mirkin. Novian heritage is written all over your skin. You're Melania's daughter, and she called you a thing. Maybe she wasn't well at the time, or maybe it never happened. The video could be a fake. Where did it even come from? You try to compose a reply, but it won't send. The sender believes the address is malformed. How was it received in the first place? Ask the Thresher to investigate, yeah. You summon the Thresher to personally investigate this strange message. Even forwarding it to her could damage some fragile clue. She needs to see it exactly as you saw it. There's no sign of the video being generated or edited. It appears to be an authentic conversation or part of one. What this isn't is security footage. This was not recorded by any automated system in the palace. This recording was taken by someone else who was present in the room at the time, standing at the Emperor's side. His shadow. The most obvious suspect, yes, but it could have been anyone with intimate access. A concubine or a maidservant might have been that close. The screen fills with letters and symbols that you can't easily make sense of, but the Thresher frowns. This message was sent from somewhere within the palace, but on a time delay. You could have set up trinkets in advance. I'll have to check the server to see if there are any access traces, but someone talented enough to bypass these systems would probably know enough to cover their tracks. We want to keep a fragment of the Fivum's old recording and then hack a palace system to send it to you anonymously. Sounds like the sort of thing one of the Thresher's secret agents would get up to. Empathy practice failed. Oh god. I need more empathy. As far as you can tell, Coroni doesn't know who sent that message. Trace the sender. Find out anything you can. Of course. Have you received any other suspicious correspondence? There's that strange encounter you had with the Mazarin, who before he disappeared, the one where he wanted to give you a message from your father. Rather than that tell the Thresher that the Emperor, your father, called you weak and spoiled. No. So you must be cautious. Call me at any time if you have concerns. Right. Man, oh man. Okay. Man, what's your social network? I'm in a damper mood. Investigating relations to Lorcas, Elector of Gakthorn. Lorcas is allied with Tolos the Mao, someone on Hero 3 and 3. Okay, enemies of people in America. That's it. Not very many enemies, huh? Alright, what about your history for voting? Within the Imperial Division, Electo is most loyal to the Thorkins. Electo favors a conservative approach, sticking with traditions and methods that have been tried and tested over the Fivums. Electo prefers a ruthless approach, stamping out dissent, punishing failure, and being willing to make sacrifices to succeed. Electo was personally loyal to Emperor Dracosen and easily swayed by his opinions on political matters. Electo is interested in expanding the influence of the Celestial Empire through increased contact with alien powers. I kind of want to see what happens if I offer her a cabinet position. I feel like I can trust her. You arrange for a private dialogue with Lorcas and lay out your offer. In exchange for your electoral vote, I'm willing to grant you role within the Celestial Ministry. You'll be one of my closest advisors with influence on Imperial policy. I see. Would I have my own private suite within the Heavenly Palace? That is generally one of the privileges, yes. Forgive me, Your Imperial Highness. I've always wanted to be able to claim residency in the Heavenly Palace. As a member of the Imperial Comitia, she has likely been invited to stay in one of the palace's many guest rooms at some point in her life, but that isn't the same as having a suite waiting just for you. What position did you have in mind? Oh, that is an excellent question. I did not think of this. Crap. Shit. This is gonna be a big problem. Well, she seems very... sophisticated. So... I don't know. Culture... Maybe not culture. Military, economics, science. Well, definitely not the galactic relations. She's in there right now. I want to keep our relations person as a relations person. Oh, this was bad. I don't know which one our galactic relations lady is right now. If I'm gonna save this, if I pick the wrong one and I boot out her, I will just redo that. So I'm gonna say external curator. Accept the honor and will do my best to serve you at the Empire, Your Highness. My vote is yours. Good. You have elevated Lorcas Elector Gakthon to the position external curator. She will now travel with the palace. She grants Zorana Galactic Relations skill of 30. Zola, Elector of Kedro, has pledged his vote to Lukomir, Elector of Kedro. Good stuff. Okay, so we have 1 vote pledged, 2 votes to Lukomir. Cool, that's nice. She didn't have very many enemies, so it was just the 2. Okay. Korundi is the Thresher. Okay, that's okay. So we didn't have a concern about that. Review schedule. We don't need to make another list of enemies. Let's go. Oh yeah, those are where they are, huh? Deep space. Let's go to deep space. Yeah. Entering deep space sector. You wanted to see me? Yes, Your Highness. This is largely a formality, but it requires your approval and signature. The most recent Logos of Science, who was your father's minister, has offered a research directorship in Harrow 2 sector. Harrow 2? You haven't visited there yet, but by reputation, there's practically no there to visit. No habitable planets, no major population centers. Having been so recently a member of the Celestial Ministry with privileged information means that this individual must seek Imperial approval before accepting any such position. It's a matter of security. My science has failed. You don't know anything about what the past Logo science did. Apparently not much, considering the lack of information about your father's foolish experiments. You have no idea what top secret plan might have been brought before the Ministry or how this appointment could affect your future. You'll have to take a guess. Yeah, sure, whatever, prove it. I'll save it. Very well. Is there any news about Lukomir's campaign? A new interview for the feeds. You appear at the screen where you see video footage of Lukomir answering questions from reporters while making a visit to historic castle on the Twin Worlds. Of course, he's got nothing else to do but make appearances. Can't waste your time worrying about what he's doing. You need to focus on your own schedule. Yeah, that's right. I gotta worry about myself. I have a feeling I might have put her in the wrong spot if it's that low. Like, that's my galactic relation skill. Can I move her? Oh, this is bad. No, I'll figure out when we look at the closet. Okay. So, still knowing that empathy was pretty low. Still. Endurance. No. Rhetoric? Perception. Dark. I can't be wasting too much on this. Let's go to rhetoric and empathy. Although, we don't have science, right? I think we're just going to be science ignoring misses here in this run. Okay. Move cabinet position. I don't want to do that. It's the only thing that I can do with her, though. Damn, that sucks. Any security alerts? My agents have heard 1 or 2 complaints about you muttered among the comitia. Appears to be isolated so far, nothing dangerous. Can't please everyone. Good to know. Hey, Toby. Let's go visit Toby, our pet. Negative. Tear apart chunks of meat, throw them at your bubbly pet. Milan Elector Kedro has pledged his vote to Lukomir, Elector of Kedro. Lekomo. Good for him. Let's search for traps again. We're going to Mel. Maui. Just checking the map here. Yeah, go to Mel. First time. Entering Mao sector. That one planet looked like a cat eye. You're hurrying through the halls, late for a meeting when, rounding a corner, you see a servant directly in your path, his attention focused on dusting a delicate platinum sculpture of birds in flight. Wow, look out! It's too late to stop. You thump into the servant's side. His arms fly up by instinct, trying to prevent himself from falling over, and jostle the sculpture, which tilts, falls, and crashes onto the floor, cracking a wing right off one of the birds. The servant stares at you in horror. Visual and repair. I might actually be able to pass that check. 25 visual, 15 repair. It's possible. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Why not? Period nuts damage is a clean break. It's probably repairable. Have that piece delivered to my room. I want to look at it in more detail. That's an official order. You walk away, leaving the servant blinking in confusion. You have things to do. Just in case. Just in case. Okay. Just in case. Okay, you regard the platinum bird statue that was knocked over earlier, now that you've had a bit of time to work on it. Okay, part of it, practice has failed, but student is success? I guess it's a partial pass then. With proper metal bonding agents, you've managed to glue the broken wings back into place. No punishment? What sort of ruler are you? One that is trying to keep most people in our good graces. The proper metal bonding agents, you've managed to glue the broken wing back into place. The crack is obvious if anyone bothered to look for it, but the proper shape and function of the sculpture has been restored. And after all, you're a princess. Anything you do to an object becomes part of its history. You just added more character, that's all. Now you can put it back on display and be done with it. The Mao, the first alien race to be discovered and admitted to the nascent Celestial Star Empire. At least that's the Merkin perspective. The Mao consider themselves equal founders, for without them, there was no empire, only Mirka. The Mao system contains one large inhabited world, its moon which features heavily in Mao religious practice and chaotic asteroid belt. Too dangerous for large ships to explore, there are no other planets suitable for colonization. The electors for Mao Prime are pleased to visit the Heavenly Palace and make themselves known to you. The third elector of the system, however, is their religious leader, the chief witch or head shaman. For that meeting, you will need to make a pilgrimage to the Blind Eye, the ever-clouded moon. As the Heavenly Palace has frequently visited the Mao sector, the palace staff are quite capable of designing decor and refreshments that will be acceptable to the local guests. They do, however, pose you a question. Mao, even more than full-bodied Merkins, have excellent night vision. For social gatherings and entertainment, they prefer very dim lighting. Or lighting even, excuse me. Your own eyesight, however, is less adapted to the dark. If you can't see what you're doing, you might embarrass yourself somehow. Engineering and visual arts. Wear vision enhancers? I don't have engineering, so that's gonna likely fail. Yeah. Well, actually, it's just engineering in general, right? I have repair. And I have visual. Well, it might pass, actually. It's not difficult to create a device that enhances eyesight to allow the viewer to operate in the dark. The trick is making it look stylish. Wandering around in a red helmet going blip 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 will only draw more attention to your deficiencies. Unfortunately, your attempts to tinker with night vision gear end up turning every lens opaque. Seeing nothing is not an improvement over seeing poorly, but it's too late now to change the lighting scheme. It's important to keep your guests happy and comfortable. You'll just have to be careful how you move around. The hall looks rather mysterious in dark, what you can see of it anyway. The reception gets underway to the apparent enjoyment of all. Many who live in the Heavenly Palace appear to have connections on Mao Prime, and conversation throbs pleasantly throughout the room. You offer polite greetings to anyone who comes your way, but you do not need to locate the electors. Unfortunately, one Mao looks much the same as another in the dark. Hiding expert failed. Oh my goodness. You blunder about, stumbling into guests and apologizing profusely before finally admitting defeat and asking the nearest Mao to direct you to the elector, which he does with faint chuckle at your ineptitude. Yo, kitty. Irilotti, Elector of Mao Prime, is a mature woman, but the flesh of added fivisms does not make her soft. The man with her, most likely her husband, is clearly in her shadow. She talks and he only nods. When she sees you, she comes forward and he fades into the background. Greetings and salutations, Your Imperial Highness. Are you enjoying your party? Thank you, I'm having a lovely time. The Imperial family is always welcome when they visit our sector in search of knowledge and enlightenment. Yay, history! Oh, that's a hint which is easy enough to understand. The Mao are very proud of their connections to the spiritual realm. I believe they have access to information that Mirkan priests never divine. I look forward to visiting the Blind Moon. It will be my first time. May your eyes be opened. If you'll excuse me. She raises an empty glass to you, then turns in search of an attendant. You sense that she is hostile towards you. Because I was not very pleasant in the beginning there. As soon as she leaves your circle of conversation, someone else bounds to take her place. Your Imperial Highness. The second Mao Elector bows to you, then bounces up, bringing with energy. It's such an honor to meet you. I only wish these circumstances were better. My sympathies for your father, of course. Have you visited Mao before? You blink, thrown a bit off stride by such a rapid-fire enthusiasm, and he laughs. I promise I have not had more than one drink so far. I'm just excited. May I introduce you to my lovely wife? Etiquette failed. Ooh, of course. Right, good. He brings forward a golden-furred woman, who he introduces as his wife, Persian Jahalaji. Like the Elector, she's not much older than you. She purrs a kiss over the back of your knuckles and then quickly returns to her friends. Celeste watches the sway of her tail tip as she walks, pouting slightly. I'm sorry, I hope she would be more impressed. You can make it happen with Lord. No. Don't worry about it. It's fine, don't worry. We're strangers to each other and she wants to talk to the people she knows. I'm not insulted. You're very kind. He takes a deep breath. I said too much all at once. I haven't been to Mao before, have you? No, I haven't. Well then, will you let me be your guide? For the evening at least, I can tell you all the tales. Do you want to spend the rest of the reception with him? We could build a nice partner with this dude in terms of a social relation. I don't have the confidence that even with, extra etiquette going on, yeah, I'm at 15. No, we'll stay with him. A fresh source of local gossip would be very informative. That sounds delightful, thank you. We spend the rest of the event together laughing over political scandals and the mishaps that Tultlis Old School makes light. Empathy success. You sense that he probably has positive feelings about you. Excellent. Really, Elector of Sinja has pledged her vote to Lukomir. Fuck you too. Alright. Smiths, they might change their pledges, I don't know. Is it possible? Maybe possible. Okay, review schedule, we just don't want to be negative. Okay, we'll stay in Mao. And then we'll go to Merca areas, which honestly we should have more of the Mercas than all the others. You need to sleep. Have a good sleep. Don't worry. Hey, Blacktails. Your Imperial Highness, some gifts have been sent to you in honor of your approaching birth star, more unlikely to arrive in coming turns. Yeah, I need to go to bed soon. Let's see. First, it presents you with an assortment of pleasant trifles from various primisters and cathales around the Empire. My etiquette failed again. Nothing particularly noteworthy. Send the usual letters of appreciation. There are also some more unusual items. This is, for example, was delivered on behalf of Uzka. Uzka species commonly referred to as the spindly walkers because of the long-legged exoskeletons they use to move around. Their natural bodies are round and small and squishy, with short tentacles that can barely drag their bulk over the ground. They do a good deal of trade with the Empire and other galactic powers, but they have a reputation for seeming distant and emotionless. Steady, dedicated workers who are welcomed in many ports, but rarely make personal ties. The lab shows no sign of explosive or other obvious dangers, but they are not certain what it is meant to be. The object appears to be a large sphere of glass or clear crystal, which is hollow, containing mostly air and small pile of metallic-looking flakes. You rotate the sphere and the flakes fall to the new bottom, but with an oddly chaotic motion, almost as if they were squirming. Once they fall into place, however, they are still. Galactus relations fails. This must be art, but it doesn't look attractive or even interesting to you. Put it in the vault. It may be valuable, but I have no use for it. Put it in the vault with the other gifts. Very well. This is a much more momentous gift on offer from the Grib. If gift is the correct description. D&D and Shower took more out of me than expected. Don't worry about it. Have a good night, man. The Grib are more alien of all Celestial Empire neighbors, resembling nothing so much as enormous, ugly mushrooms. Basic success in the relations. You can't speak their language other than one standard greeting, and even that makes your throat hurt. It's dangerous to attempt communication beyond that. Try not to bed too early, I guess, and sleep well. Yes. No, I'm gonna have to go to bed soon-ish. For certain, otherwise I'm not gonna get enough sleep for work tomorrow. I hate cutting it off at a bad point, though, that's the problem. Let's see, you can't speak their language other than one standard greeting, and even that makes your throat hurt. It's dangerous to attempt communicating beyond that. Concepts don't always translate clearly, and the Grib are unpredictable and swift to take offense. Many routine encounters with Grib ships have suddenly erupted into violent action. In honor of the Celestial Empire's change of leadership and in order to usher in a new age of cooperation and unity, the Grib propose a joint colonization project. They wish to invite approximately 5,000 Imperial citizens to establish a self-governing settlement on one of the underdeveloped frontier worlds, which lies a few jumps away from Hero Prime. This is unusually high. That is putting it mildly. Sovereign empires do not simply give away territory, even supposedly worthy territory. A trade and treaty perhaps, but a gift? Oh, the military... Whoa. Intrigue with Korundi plus military failed. You accidentally playing a no-def perfect game. Run. Yeah, apparently. An unusual situation could mean a rare opportunity. Establishing a new colony would generally require the agreement of both the Emperor and Komita. Also, in the absence of an Emperor, it is not possible to appoint a new elector to represent a population. However, a provisional expedition is within your power to command. If you want to get a foothold in Grib space before the election and reap any potential political benefits for yourself, you'll need to act quickly. My etiquette's gonna be crap. Delay until after election. It's failed. Okay, wonderful. Maybe that'll mean that I get a gun to my head or something in that. Cool. Explain to the Grib that we don't have the authority to make that decision right now, but we'll bring it up with the Komita after the election. Very well. Let's have presents, but you do have studying to do.
Studying's important.
Right, I feel like we need a little bit more Imperial history from that. What else? Imperial history and, galactic relations. Yep. Just bring all that up. Spiritual galactic relations success. Oh! You had just the strangest dream. You were holding a large glassy sphere, something like the orb that Uza sent you, except that there was nothing inside except darkness. You look into the sphere and then you fell inside of it somehow, becoming lost in endless black. You cried out for help and you felt something in your hands, not a sphere anymore. Crystal smooth and faceted and hauntingly familiar, like a precious possession lost since childhood. Slowly a light began to grow within the crystal. You could see your hands, but they were ghostly pale, almost translucent. And then you knew what you had to do. You held up the crystal. A radiance streamed from your fingers, banishing the dark. For at last you flew up into the sky. You woke up. Why does that feel important somehow? You wave the lights on and go to your computer to send a message to someone who might understand. Zorana, how funny. I was just thinking about you. Explain about your dream and the odd feeling of importance it had. A vision! Oh, you're so lucky. I'm not sure it was a vision, maybe just a memory. Do you remember me owning some sort of important crystal? I wish. I love crystals. Maybe your dream was about being Crystal Novan? Maybe it's a sign that you should investigate your heritage more. Kay always wants you to learn more about other galactic cultures, especially Crystal Nova. Or maybe it was more spiritual kind of dream. You will find your hidden strength if you venture alone into the dark night of the soul. How would I do that? I don't know, it's your journey, so you'd have to do it yourself. Trapped alone in terror and suffering until your wings unfurl and you gain the power to destroy the world. Right. Yeah, that seems like something that I could easily do on my own. Which is a very strange idea sometime. Well, thank you for your help. Call me anytime. I'm always happy to talk about your dreams. My dreams, yeah. It was probably just a dream. I'm sorry, what is this? Oh, we didn't meet the other person at the fuck. That's pretty bad. I didn't realize, so we spent the rest of the night with him, which he's clearly a trusted person. But because of that, that's really bad. Request an audience, we should talk with them. You submit a request of permission to visit the Blind Eye and wait for a formal response. It takes some time. Blind Eye Mao's prime moon is cloaked in thickly swirling atmosphere, which blocks vision, most censors all communication. Wait, is this not one of the electors? Oh, fuck. Yeah, no it is. It definitely is. Shoot. Messages must be especially relayed to and from the surface, and only pilots trained in bliss, so spirits dare to make the landing. You require an escort. You don't know what will happen after that. Questions about your beliefs and loyalties, perhaps. Almost certainly some kind of ritual. No chief witch would grant official support to an imperial candidate without invoking the spirit for guidance. At last, a pilot is sent to transport you down to the moon's surface. The endless mist swallowed you up in a sea of sparkling gray. Whenever you stare out of the flyer's windows, your eyes begin to play tricks on you. False colors and shapes dancing and swooping all around you. But of course, there's nothing here. Spirituality failed. Yay, just like me. Even after landing and leaving the vehicle, your vision is obscured. It is not dark, but relentlessly hazy. You can see your own hands and feet on the surface that you stand on. But by a distance of only a few cubits, all details disappear. Scouting failed. It leaves you feeling half blind and helpless. Well, I could easily die here. You can only follow as your guides instruct, hoping that they will keep you safe. You are led not to a temple, but to the site of an unlit bonfire. Here the chief witch stands in conference with their fellow shamans and their assistants. You can only tell them apart by the different robes and other trappings that they wear. All faces are veiled. Greetings, Princess Zorana. You have come as a pilgrim to walk the path of truth and seek the blessings of the ancestors. Have you brought an offering? Imperial history, practice, success. At least there's that. You knew enough about the Mao practices to be ready for this. I bring incense and prayer so that my thoughts may reach the beloved dead. So shall it be. With a signal from Chief Witch, torches are brought to light the bonfire. Unseen drums strike up a slow rhythm, and as the flames climb higher. You are the acknowledged heir of your father, Emperor Draconician, the recently departed. Call upon his spirit to speak to you and bring you his blessing in your endeavors. The drumming intensifies, and the Chief Witch begins to dance, swaying like the flickers of firelight as they move around you. At a nod from one of the assistants, you cast your incense into the fire, sending up a cloud of scented smoke into the relentless mist. Will a vision of your father appear? Will the shaman speak with his voice? You have never taken part in this practice before. Anything could happen. You squeeze your eyes shutly tight, whispering words of welcome under your breath as the witch is instructed. Please, father, please come to me. Yeah, your kind and loving father, who was not kind and loving. Yes. Splits past. The drum beats slow, then stop. You open your eyes to find Moostis staring at you. The shaman looks confused. Was something supposed to happen? You look around, but all you see is mist. Affected by mood, compliant. I'm sorry, I didn't see anything. No, the spirit of Emperor Dracocen will not come for you. You say he won't come? What do you mean? Shamans look at each other. We are not certain. You called upon the Emperor as your father returned from the realm of the dead, and there was no response. Not even a denial. Could his soul be trapped somehow? Considering the mysterious nature of your father's death, it's conceivable that his spirit might have difficulty reaching a traditional afterlife. A warp gate compresses time and space, and no one knows precisely what happens to the travelers when a warp goes round. This may be possible, we don't know. Is there anything I can do? No. I'm sorry, Your Imperial Highness. I cannot grant you any guidance at this time. Go back to your palace. Search within yourself for the hidden truth. Follow that path, and when time comes for the election, the future will be revealed. If you are chosen as Empress, then we will speak again. It seems like that's the best you can hope for now. You sense they probably have negative feelings about you. Ooh. Yikes. That didn't seem good, did it? Probably positive. Let's investigate your background. We'll get you some background information. In the background of Tulus, Elector of Mal Prime, Tulus is considered something of a young firecracker. He's only just become an elector, and not through inheritance. Previous elector for the region died without direct heir and left the succession up to society's vote. Tulus won through charisma, campaigning, and high youth turnout. However, he also made a number of claims in his campaign that don't hold up to scrutiny. He dropped out of his school when he claimed to attend, only briefly volunteered with the military rather than being recruited by them. And the business he started was only a childhood mint bag stand. As an adolescent, Tulus was a thrill seeker who was repeatedly in minor trouble with the law. In the worst incidents, he was caught attempting to navigate the asteroid belt to steal sacred flowers from a planetoid only the shamans are allowed to set foot on. That could be quite a scandal if known. So I have some seriously good blackmail information on him. I don't want to blackmail him. He was nice to me. Tulus never had any serious relationships other than his now wife, whom he appears to love dearly. She, however, has dated others and is reportedly in talks to secure her first official concubine, but the process has been unusually dragged out. I guess by him. They have no children at this point. That's... Not happy. I have a feeling that I don't have to look at the voting history. Let's take a look at the social network. Investigating the relationships of Tolis, Electra, and Malprime. Tolis is allied with Mirka and Tharkus, someone on either of those. Tolis and Rippling Eternity from Hero 4 are enemies. Relaxed by the pool a bit. Yeah. Let's be indulgent for once. Enjoy yourself lounging beside and then splashing around in your own private pool. It's gotta get used somehow.
And my butt.
Alright, I hate to call it here, but it's 2 a.m. I may end up playing this a bit on Monday. Possibly. I wasn't planning on doing a second playthrough on this, but since there has been no death, and I promised a death, I think I might end up doing that. We'll see what ends up happening. Happy Monday. Hey, my iced tea's in the shot. Cheers. Get Mallow in the shot, as Mallow deserves to be in the shotted shot. You're gonna fall, and if you crack, I'll be sad. Although you're just plastic. Right, you're resilient. You're a resilient boy. Not growing, though. That would be terrifying. We don't need that. Galaxy Princess Zorana. I was expecting to finish. I was just expecting to die in-game, and it just didn't happen. I didn't get a single ending. It's one of those games where you have a lot of deaths, and I somehow kept lucking out on living. So we're gonna continue on until a death and get into the Princess Zone. Hello! It's Galaxy Princess Zorana Part 2. We're gonna continue on where I left off, which is in the Oh No save. Oh no. And I was in Mao. I don't remember what we were doing exactly, other than trying to stay alive. We were visiting Mao. What can I look at on this screen? Oh no. Let's see, that's the save. That's the config history. Stay put at Tharkus was the last choice I made? Was it? How could that possibly be? The whole Farkas system's down there. Strange. I know I'm playing this game wrong. 100%. By the way of all my decisions. Fancy. We're just gonna stay put. I can't see my stats or anything, so... A gift has arrived from Chikuk, your Imperial Highness. It's a little stone cameo brooch. Enjoy an approximation. Enough of an approximation of your profile that you can tell it's meant to be you, but nothing special. Send them my appreciation. Your birth star will be rising soon. Maybe you have a party. Okay. My birthday's coming up apparently in-game. Ooh, we fancy. Let's see. The last sort of fails we were having were mostly in Galaxy Relations and Imperial History. I think we want to continue up on that area. Though empathy also seems to be something we're failing at too, which is wonderful. Let's do more history, just to be on the safe side of the world. Yeah. Yay. Ooh, you practiced and you gained stuff. Okay, so you have a negative opinion of me. You have a positive opinion. You have a seriously negative opinion of me. You are one of my advisors, though I'd rather you be in a different area than the one that I am in, because you're not helping me that much. Hi, the Chris, welcome. Thank you for the subscription. Or the sub. Or the follow? Did you follow or sub? Well, either way, you're very much welcome. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. Wow, you subscribe with Prime. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you. You don't have to do that, by the way, but that's appreciative. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. Let us see here. What do we want to do with our turn here? So there's not a lot we can do with you. What are our options? Analyze voting history, investigate background. You know what? Let's do that. I mean, this pretty big enigma. Let's take a look. You dig into the background of Mustis, chief witch of the blind eye. To become a shaman and speak for the spirits of the departed, a Mao must give up all ties to a mortal life. Birth name, gender, and family connections are all erased from records, and the dedication rituals become physical sterilization to prevent any possibility of children. There is no return. Ooh, Imperial history success. Ooh, this is good. This is good. It is culturally important to the Mao that their shamans be completely incapable of producing children. However, modern technology means that any individual could potentially contribute genes to a child, even if their natural reproductive system has been removed. Wait for my prime to come back to give it to you. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Because of this, creating clone children is a taboo in this sector. It's not completely illegal, but very highly regulated and considered immoral by large parts of the population. Within the witch caste, names are frequently changed in response to visions, progress through ritual stages, or new assignments. The individual who is now Mustis must have served apprenticeships under many older shamans across many Mao Prime, but official records deliberately omit any connections between their past and current identities. All in all, researching the chief witch's background is a hopeless task. The best that can be found are records of official statements since assuming the position, which suggests that Mustis is politically moderate and a proponent of peaceful relations. So we cannot blackmail them. Not that I was planning to, mind you, but that's just made that, like, more or less what happens here. What's your voting history? Analyzing the voting history, Mustis, chief witch of the blind eye, looking for patterns to predict future support. Within the Imperial divisions, Mustis are most loyal to the Mao. Mustis prefers peaceful solutions and compromise over conflict. All views and all lives have value. Mustis are interested in expanding the influence of Celestial Empire through increased contact with alien powers. Yeah, it's too bad I can't do anything else besides that. Somebody said blackmail? Yes. Hi! Welcome, Magus. Welcome. What else can we do here today? We could remove you from the cabinet position. That seems like a bad idea. Because I want to keep you on my good side. Investigate the background. Let's investigate your background. You seem like you really hate me for some reason. You dig into the background of Irilati, Elector of Mal Prime. Despite having been confirmed in her post for many fibims, Irilati married only later in life. Her husband, Yalo is, that's a close relative of YOLO, is a gentleman who prefers home life to politics, and her son and heir is still too young for betrothals. By all accounts, a portrait-perfect family. However, this was not her first relationship. Previously, Irilati pursued an engagement with a man who eventually jilted her in favor of her younger sister, Haimi, a socialite and media presenter whose licenses her face as the author of ghostwritten books she's never reads. Listen, everyone's entitled to live their life how they want, but that just sucks overall for Irilati, although she was a dick to us, so I guess that evens out. Relations between the siblings have been frozen out ever since. Since young adulthood, Irilati has been linked in a romantic friendship with another woman, Linen, yeah. An old school friend who married young. It is not clear whether or not they are lovers, but Linen spends far more time with Irilati than with her own husband. If it is an affair, it would be a mild embarrassment for all parties since both women are married to others. Not, however, a world-shattering scandal. Blackmail option has unlocked. Ooh, what do we want to do? Do we want to be more compliant? Or have a dinner party? Let's have a dinner party. We haven't done that yet. You invited some of the residents in the palace to join you for an evening of food and entertainment. You ate food and you entertained. I don't know if I want to stick around with these folks as of yet. Let's go to deep space. Want to go over to Murka too. Entering deep space sector. Please wait. Your screen chimes a merry tune. Your friends are calling you. Vasily? Senya? Best wishes on your birthday rising. I set up the call so we both talk to you at the same time, even when we can't be all together. They sing a little duet together, an old children's song about a crocodile being happy even on a dreary day because you were born. Thank you. Did the Thresher give you a good luck kiss? What? No. Too bad. So you won't believe what I heard about Zossman. For a while, you all sit around and gossip about old classmates and social shenanigans. It's like being back at school again, except without the fear of detention. Okay, I have to ask, is it true about Mazarin? Is what true about Mazarin? She's been reading conspiracy theory forums again. I don't believe everything I read, but you have to keep an open mind. Anyway, there's this story going around that because your father's death was sort of a mystery, that his shadow has gone searching for him and he can't rest until he finds the Emperor. I agree with that, honestly. That's sort of true, I guess. See, I told you he's cursed to be immortal and wander the stars forever. That's not what I said. Vasily just sighs and shakes his head. It's nice to spend time with your friends, but eventually have to get back to your studies. They're gonna just gossip to other people about that nonsense. Good, great, wonderful. Okay, now that we have more social stuff going on, we're gonna get bonus stuff in. Oh, this is good. Okay, I want more rhetoric and empathy, because this means we can deceive people a little easier, or at least get them to be persuaded onto our side easier. So let's continue on with that, please. 15 points. Your skill in rhetoric is now 50. You cannot pass beyond 50 until your other interaction skills are 25 or higher. Oh. That's what that means? Is that the same thing for empathy? That's nice. There's a sound at the door. Come in. The Veshtar enters carrying a white box. The Imperial Highness, I am tasked on behalf of your father to bring you this gift. He ordered it in advance so that it would be ready for you today. Oh. Will it be another message of disappointment, another upsetting video? You open the box to reveal a pair of gleaming silver shoes covered with intricate designs. They're beautiful and stronger than they look. Perhaps your father didn't totally dismiss you after all. So I got strong shoes for my strong souls. Strong soul? Soul. Anyway. Korandi, do you have anything to tell me? Good day to you, Imperial Princess Zorana. We have reports suggesting multiple threats against your life. You should avoid any potentially hazardous situations that might be exploited. Consider carefully whether anyone you know might be an enemy. Ooh, I'm in cautious mode now. Yikes. Toby, let's not visit Toby actually, because that'll just make me feel negative. Let's end social turn. Cautious. Because I want to improve more of my skills in social. I need to be more compliant than cautious. Alright, let's go into America since there's no one to socialize with in deep space. Just myself. And that doesn't do me very much good. Entering America 2 sector. Good morning, Your Imperial Highness. Another gift has arrived for you. However, there are concerns. This gift has been sent from Crystal Nova. Oh, your family. What is it? The Veshtar brings out a wooden box made up of many separate pieces connected in strange shapes. You can't immediately see how to open it. What's inside? Nothing as far as our scans can tell. This is a puzzle box, a challenge for the mind. The act of finding a way inside is itself the gift, though it can be used to store trinkets. I recommend destroying the box. This gift by its nature is not fully understood. It could contain hidden dangers. Can you trust such a gift? Do you even want a gift from your Novan relatives? My Novan relatives tend to not like me too much, quite clearly, as from what everything's indicated. Do I want to try solving it myself? I could put it in the vault, so that could still be an issue, or dispose of it quietly. Disposing would definitely, if it's found out, be quite an insult to Novans, and I don't think they would ever take any of my votes at that point. Everyone here is too pretty. Oh yeah, I don't think they're gonna make too many that are just overtly ugly, unfortunately, though it would make me feel a little bit more at home if they were more, normal looking, They got some ears. I think the more neutral of the options is to put in the vault, but if it is dangerous, that could have, affect other things that are also in the vault. So just because there's scans that didn't pick up anything doesn't mean that there's nothing to be concerned about. But as we just found out, we should be more cautious. I think we're just gonna put it in the vaults. No, I'm gonna risk my reputation and dispose of it quietly. Send the necessary thank you to the Novan government and get rid of the box. I have no use for their gift. You need to focus. That'll have to do. Okay, so clearly rhetoric and empathy are done with. Do I want to do allure or menace? Allure, understand what others find appealing, useful for flirtation, friendship, fashion, and marketing. Intimidation, presenting a believable threat, used to command obedience, but may make enemies. I don't really feel like that, but etiquette and deception, I could see those being very useful. Imperial history would be very good to still have. I think we're going to continue on in that realm. Yeah, do it. There we go. Etiquette has hit the minimum, so we need to do at least 2 of days on the other reign to get some fun stuff done. Real history is at 60. Codex update for Sinja? Is that like a ninja? Maybe. In the early days of Mirken space exploration, before the Celestial Star Empire was born, the first colony outside of the Twin Worlds was built on Sinja, rocky moon of the Untouchables gas giant Kier. It represented not only an exotic mineral resource, but also a gateway to the larger universe. Political and technological developments over the centuries have regulated it to little more than a waypoint for the galactic travel. The mining operation continues, but Sinja is no longer a thriving frontier. Despite or because of its proximity to the Twin Worlds, it is very rare for Sinja to receive an Imperial visit. Dignitaries from the locale usually make their way to Kedro or Andro for audiences. Thus, while Sinja rates only 1 elector, this reception is the dream of a lifetime for every minor official and regional business director headquartered on the moon. Invitations were in intense demand. Very intense. Oh, my economics failed. I got a 0 in it, so that makes sense. It seems that half the guests wish to speak with you about some manner of investment opportunities. You have far more important things to do with your time. You turn them all away unheard. Unfortunately, you come too late, and the only vote available in this sector has already been pledged to your rival. Still, unexpected events can change the course of an election. Your eyes fall upon a tall, willowy woman whose hair has the gleam of platinum. Makeup enhances the keenness of her gaze, making her age hard to guess beyond adult. Her silk gown is colored like a cascade of flower petals, so that sounds very nice. At her side is a middle-aged woman with a pleasant smile wearing a dark-colored dress of demure sophistication. Thin traceries of silver jewelry glint when they catch the light. This is Morel, Elector of Sinja. See, I was hoping to see the one with the cascading flowery dress, because that sounded very pretty. I mean, it's not like she's terrible to look at either, but it's like, I want to see that color on that dress that you were describing. It sounded wonderful. Your Imperial Highness, it is my great pleasure to welcome you here. May I introduce my wife, Bianji. Oh, etiquette success, yay! You exchange pleasantries. Have you ever visited Sinja before? You have, actually, but only as part of a school trip, an educational excursion to the old frontier. You're not sure that's what she wanted to hear. Deception... I don't have any in, so we'd fail. Let's go with the truth, because that's the best we can do. When I first entered secondary school, we went on an overnight trip to Sinja to visit the museum and see the original landing sites. For many students, it was their step out among the stars, as it was for the people long ago. Our people long ago, rather. Well said. A chime interrupts your conversation, signaling that the first of the scheduled speeches is about to begin. I hope you have a very pleasant evening. Thank you. Empathy failed. The graduate, I need a higher empathy to understand these people better. You sense that she probably has positive feelings about you. Well, there's at least that. That's good. So empathy is in this allure and menace area. I have to do more of that, huh? All right, well, where are we? Mood? Indulgent? We need to be more indulgent. Let's go relax by the pool. Yeah. We're gonna stay put for a bit here. I know that someone already has their vote pledged. Look at this area. There's 3 of them only that are available. Our opponent. Ooh. We visited this sector and got 1 pledge. We have exactly 1 person that's loyal to us for certain. Good morning, Your Imperial Highness. You have received a message of political nature. The consortium of Tharkin technology companies wish to test your opinion. Fail. On establishing a self-governing community on the largest moon of Svargus. They are not making an official proposal or requesting any action on your part, merely putting out feelers to see if you might support the idea. Svargus in the Thorkis 3 sector, Sola's home. It has 3 moons, and if one declared independence, the others might follow well. Oh, history success! Oh, I'm so glad we put in more in that. This isn't the first time that someone has broached the idea of lunar independence. Smaller electoral territories already exist. However, no emperor has been in favor of the idea. Developing... yes! Ho, ho, ho. Developing the moons into separate entities would massively increase the electoral power of that sector, but the established government might not wish to find themselves outnumbered by tiny neighbors in the sky. Do you wish to make a reply? This is not quite official business. You're not obligated to respond. Let me check the history, because, I mean, like, I feel proud that we passed those checks. I'm like, okay, but what do I feel? How do I feel about this? I don't know. Okay, so what do they want? Received a message. Consortium and Thorkin technology companies wish to test your opinion on establishing a self-governing community on the largest moon of Svargus. They're not making an official proposal or requesting any action on your part, merely putting out feelers to see if you might support the idea. So if I'm non-committal, that probably will, like, kind of piss them off. I feel like that's not the way to go. I think we need to actually take a stance and like, well, if I was elected, I feel like maybe this or that. 3 moons declared independence, the others might well follow. So right now, none of them have declared independence. This isn't the first time someone's broached the idea of lunar independence. Smaller territories that exist have no emperor has been in favor of the idea. So having one that is in favor would be a bit unusual. Devolving the moons into separate entities would massively increase the electoral power of that sector, which they might be in favor of. Established government might not wish to find themselves outnumbered by tiny neighbors in the sky. So actually, they might not want that. Is it good to have more or less? Ultimately, how big of a decision is this? I'm not sure. I'm gonna say, like, sure, you know, like, if that's what you want to do, I don't have a problem with it. It's your area, not mine. I think we could use more new voices in Komita. Don't make any promises, but suggest that I'm interested in exploring the idea. Very well. See? I can be good with certain stuff. All right, it looks like here that I'm only gonna get 10 on these, so I'm just gonna ignore that for right now. Let's work on... which one seems better? Allure? Allure, that's more positive. So let's just do allure twice, shall we? Just to get that one and done, because I want to raise the empathy even more. I need to know how people feel about me. It's maddening. Okay, level 30. Done. Star Admiral Yaku's flagship is presented in this sector. If you wish to speak with him... Oh. Huh. I might as well. Lakau. Patrol Imperial Rim. Charm of Flatter? What? Investigate the background. You dig into the background of Yakao, Star Admiral. Yakao was born in a military family and spent much of his childhood traveling with them from post to post as duty assignments shifted. His civilian education record was adequate but not astonishing, and he enlisted in military training as soon as possible. Despite his background, Yakao did not immediately enter the fleet on an officer's commission, but as a common soldier. After a FAVM's tour of duty, his commander directed him into office candidate school where he excelled. After receiving his commission, Yakao married a civilian who devoted himself to raising their children. By now, they are grandparents many times over. 2 of his children are also part of the fleet, and 1 serves with the Planoside's forces. Man, this guy has gotten around. Seems like being a princess isn't that easy. Can't believe I made that reference. Being a princess isn't that easy. I don't know what that's referencing. I'm sorry. Yakao is considered a charismatic leader, beloved by his troops and not afraid to get his hands dirty or put his life on the line when a task needs doing. However, he has no patience for traitors or cowards and has ordered the executions of those who failed him. Yikes. So, nothing to blackmail him with. Not that there would be anything, really, but I'm just saying. Negotiate? I don't know what we negotiate, but let's talk. Affected by elector approval. Your attempt to arrange for private dialogue with Yaku, but he won't return your calls. God damn. We suck. We just suck. Damn. All right, well, let's learn more about Muriel. You dig in the background of Muriel, Elector of Sinja. Muriel was born to one of her predecessors' harem rather than within a marriage, but was formally acknowledged as heir. She is married and unusually devoted to her wife, Bianji. Muriel holds no harem and has never been caught in any hint of scandal or affair. Location may also be a factor in the lack of gossip. Anything that happens on Sinja is of limited interest to the rest of the Empire. The region is rarely covered in general news or reports. Muriel and her wife have 2 sons, Oral and Mirko, both of whom are too young for betrothal. Makes sense? Let's get more social, shall we? Here we go. More dinner parties. We'll stay on Mirka. Do I bother? I don't think there's much of a point. Let's go to Mirka too. It was just the one lady, and she was okay. I mean, she seemed nice. Mirka 1 sector, this is easily the biggest of all the planets, so we're gonna be here for a bit. Unless we die, which hopefully we will. Your Imperial Highness, we have now received a diplomatic message from Crystal Nova. What do the Novans want now? They claim to have captured Imperial intelligence agent carrying out espionage in the territory and demand that you come in person to the border to negotiate an exchange. They're demanding me to do something? You know who I am? Not one to be demanded to do anything. The problem is, that is not one of our agents. She taps her screen. This individual is a common Imperial citizen doing business on Crystal Nova. He is not an agent. He is not even an informant. He has no classified value. If this is an innocent citizen, then he might be condemned to a Novan prison through no fault of his own. Better to lose some unimportant businessman than to put the Imperial princess at risk. Why do you think they're insisting on our personal presence? It must be a trap. The Novans have designated a neutral sector just outside of the Imperial space to make the exchange. If you wish to negotiate, you will need to be at this location by turn 22. This is, of course, your decision. What turn are we? We're at 18? No. No, we're not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Too many people want me dead. No. Even though I'm sure that would expedite things. No. All right, and now you have other decisions to make. Yes, I do. Yes, I very much do. Okay. Let's up the deception here, please. So that way we can up our rhetoric a little bit more. Why do I want the rhetoric to go up, actually? Well, now, you have unlocked the evening gown outfit, which provides a bonus to interaction skills. Would you like to put it on now? Sure. Oh, that is a nice outfit. I mean, the other one was pretty too, but this is just... I don't know, this is more my style, honestly. Ooh. Codex updated. Mirka Prime, the twin worlds at Kedro and Andro, the heart of the Celestial Empire, your home. In many ways, your childhood felt like an exile. You were raised on a small Kedro estate in the care of Duenna. While your brother was heir, you were never called on to attend your illustrious father in the Heavenly Palace. You were the second-string child, unnecessary, out of sight. And yet, you were an Imperial princess, attending school with other children of wealth and power. Every Tristan, you received invitations to anything, from ritual sacrifices to operatic competitions. This clifftop castle is nothing new. You have walked these halls before and you know what shoes to wear. The big ones that Dad bought us. Tonight, you are the guest of honor. Every person of rank in the Twin Worlds is lined up to greet you and offer you their sympathies, their respect, and a ceremonial gift. There's no time for anything more, not with so many waiting for even a moment of your attention. It is, of course, the 6 local electors who are uppermost in your mind. 3 from Kedro and 3 from Andro. This single sector is the pivot for the balance of power in the Celestial Empire. However, you cannot seek them out. You must wait for the queue to proceed as tradition demands. Successful etiquette. The protocol is a relief. It means you don't have to make any decisions about who to talk to first and therefore risk offending one or another of the electors. Everyone will come to you in time. The Primuseers of the Twin Worlds take precedence, followed by the Kepales. They bow, they kiss the air above your hands. That's just weird. Weird traditions here. And they present you with an array of identical platinum coins stamped in your father's image. It is some time before their first of electors reaches the head of the queue. Zola of Kedro. You recognize him easily. He is dressed for that effect, but you have never known him well. Too old to have been your friend, too young to have been a schoolmate's parent. Zolaf's first husband had passed into eternity. He is here alone. He also had some kind of connection to Esmerai, the woman from your father's harem who tried to murder you in your sleep. Oh, this fucker. Okay. There's no proof he was involved in any way, but he did know her. I'm gonna say nothing for now. This is not the time to make a scene and antagonize an elector who might be innocent. He bows to you, wings fluttering with practiced charm. Your Imperial Highness, may the gods bring you favor. He says nothing more than that, merely offering his coin to your attendants and withdrawing. Empathy fail. Oh man, you sense that he is hostile towards you. Oh, well, he can go fuck off then. Should have just thrown him out. The elector is a goth girl, and I appreciate you. The next elector to approach you is Krovos of Andro. He is the only one of the cohort that you have never met before, for that plain reason that he is far too young to take on responsibilities of the position and has never been invited to any formal gala. Ooh, media success? I wasn't expecting that one to pass out ever. There was a whole special report on the feeds last season about the poor orphaned elector whose regent had also died, and how none of the nobles of Andro could agree on who would replace the regent, so in the end it was decided let Kovros rule for himself. There is precedent for allowing adolescent heirs to take up positions when necessary. You yourself have not had your adulthood rights, but Krovos is an only child. It's most unusual. Hello, Your Highness, how are you? There is no possible way that Krovos got here without being told to address you as Imperial Highness. Even if he has no regent to advise him, the castle staff would have made gentle reminders for those waiting in the queue. Is this a careless mistake or an insult? He doesn't seem nervous. Does he not realize? Correct him. Well, just nicely correct him. I think that I can get most of the younger folks on my side, is my thought here. Correct him. He must be corrected. I am correctly addressed as Her Imperial Highness. Okay. He grins and hands over his coin. Happy birth star. It's not my... Oh, never mind. The little boy wanders off, his task complete. You sense that he probably has negative feelings about you. Wonderful. We love that. The next elector approaches is Vater, also of Andro. He is an older male who's never married and has no children that you know of. He's always seemed kind. Your Imperial Highness, it is my great pleasure to see you here tonight. I hope you see you carry on the legacy of both your parents. We'll let the homeless child in. The electing governments did. Thank you. He bows, offered up his gift, and moves out of the way so the next guest can proceed. You sense that he probably has positive feelings about you. It occurs to you to wonder whether Lukamir will be in attendance. He would normally never fail to attend such a prestigious political gathering, but with his own election campaign you manage, he may be busy elsewhere. You look around but cannot spot his unruly mop of hair anywhere in the crowd. That's probably for the best. You don't know what you'd say to him anyway. The next elector to appear before you is Ixel of Andro. She's notable in Twin World society for her large number of acknowledged children, one of whom attended your academy a few forms ahead of you. You were hoping Phaedra would be here tonight, but there is no sign of her or her siblings. But then these are the guests of the high prestige. Heirs and offspring rank lower and might be further back in the queue. Ixel stands by her husband's side, smiling at you. Hello, Your Imperial Highness. You're looking well under the circumstances. Under the circumstances? Is that an insult? We're very sorry for your loss. I know that this time may be very difficult for you. Please call my household if you ever have any need. Thank you. They present their gift to you and leave smiling. You sense that she probably has negative feelings about you. Everyone hates me. Everyone just hates me. The last of the electors to make an appearance is Milan of Kedro. You're surprised to see him attending alone. Perhaps his wife is unwell? She is much older than her husband, after all. Equally unusual, Milan appears to be entirely sober, which is not his typical demeanor at social gatherings. Perhaps this is a show of respect. Your Imperial Highness? He thumps a fist to his chest. Glory to your line. He nodded in acknowledgement and he hands over his ceremonial coin. Until another meeting. He marches away with purposeful motion, his back straight. You sense that he is hostile towards you. Is that why he was sober? Because he wanted to make sure he remembered that he interacted with someone he hates? That's nice. Why do they all hate me? That is the last of the electors, but certainly not the last of the guests. A long evening stretches out ahead of you. Of course, there is one more vote to be cast within this sector. However, its holder is not the sort of person who can be expected to wait in line to pay her respects to you. If you wish an audience with the High Pontifex, you will have to approach her as a supplicant. For now, you must raise your chin and look regal. Alright, well, so much codex stuff that I will not be reading. Oberon, Elector Tharkis Prime has pledged his vote to Lucomir Elector Kedro. Thanks, Oberon. Thanks. Thanks. Alright. Oh, we can go dancing or we can go shopping. We haven't gone dancing. Yeah, might as well go dancing. Save the money. You go for some wild exertion in one of the palace ballrooms. Yeah, that's fun. We're gonna hang out here for a little longer. So who was your pledge? Tharkis, here. Ooh, one of them. He's getting around. We're gonna stay put a little longer. For once, nothing urgent has summoned you from your bed. Just the usual pile of routine dispatches and updates. So were most of them just being two-faced? Yes, unfortunately that's part of the role. If they're representing their sector, they don't want to embarrass their sector, so they're gonna do like the bare minimum, being polite, and then be like, well, when you're gone, is what their mind is probably thinking. Just like, get the hell out of here, princess. You don't belong. You don't belong. We're just paying the respects that your father is gone, and we hope that you'll be gone soon too. Yeah. Vestract has sent a reminder that the Agony, a major religious festival including blood sacrifice, the Agony, we're going to stick with that name, will take place on turn 24. And where is that being held? While there will be many ceremonies across the Empire, the primary ritual held is on Kedro and preceded over by the High Pontifex. Oh, that's where we are right now, right? Oh, I think. I don't see any other spot that says Kedro. And they said the High Pontifex, which is on this planet, so we need to be here in 3 turns' time, so we're just gonna stick around. Traditionally, the Emperor or high-ranking noble designated as his proxy would be present in order to receive an augury for the future of the Empire. If you wish to attend, you should make plans to be in the sector Mirka 1 on that turn. Yeah, and that's where we are. Perfect, I understand the assignment. On with your day. Excellent, so we're excited. So, oh, we don't get the perks on things now. Look at all the extra perks we get on rhetoric, etiquette, and everything because of a dress. That's lovely. Okay. So, because we're excited, we get more positive stuff and all this stuff that I have no interest in upping. That's a shame. All right. Well, we could get a bonus in intrigue. I don't know. It's not really much use for doing that since we have a Thresher that has such a high intrigue herself. Although, if we get it high enough, we can investigate our Thresher person, the Just Be Slain. Heck yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Decisions. Tumbling, strength, reflexes. Although reflexes is really good. Sports, hunting, wrestling. Keep thinking wrestling would be good, but I think I just want to do some reflex. It's the reflex. Actually, that's the only part I know of the song. It's a reflex. Na 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 na. Something, something, something. Na, 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 na. You know, like that. Ixay. Who is that? Okay, so we met all of these people except Lucomir. They don't necessarily hate me. I get that. We get one person who does not hate us. Vater. What are the votes of these folks? I need to know. Zola, Lucomir, obviously. Lucomir's voting for himself. Milan and Ixel. Milan, Ixel, Zolat. Milan, Ixel, Soltar. So, ZMI. Oh, I just clicked out of the window. No, I don't want to open DaVinci Resolve. God damn it. Somebody click out of Windows. Okay, how do I get out? Oh, dismiss. There we go. ZMI. ZMI. So your vote isn't pledged yet, huh, Krovos? Just strange. Let me just close out of this. No, I don't want to update the software right now. Okay. I need to know more about you. Weird squid sort of tentacle throw going on. You dig into the background of Krovos Elector Andro. Oops. Oh. No. I just did a quick load? What did I just load from turn 1? You gotta be kidding me. How? Why is that something that can happen so easily? Oh my god, please help me. Log, no, go back. Oh my god, files. Oh no, please tell me there's like a quick save. November 28th. No. Autosave. Okay, autosave. Okay, well, there's an autosave. Excited. Yes, I am positive I want to load this here. Okay. Quick save. There we go. Quick save completed. Oh my god. Okay, so that was about the festival. Oh my god, that was such a heart attack right there. Oh. Alright, I said I wanted to do the reflex. So we didn't do the reflex. We're gonna do the same moves here. Oh my goodness. Just in case. I need something to help protect myself. Alright, so where were we? We're at Krovos. Okay. Investigate. It was so scary. Oh, Elector Andro. Krovos' short life has been marked with more misfortunes than even your own. He was an only child whose parents were both killed in a transport accident. Krovos, still very young, was confirmed as the future elector and his guardianship assigned to a minor noblewoman as regent. This new guardian chose to educate Krovos at home rather than send him back to school. As her own children were already adults, she purchased a child from an orphanage to serve as his playmate. This kid did not have a normal upbringing. This was considered to be a great act of charity and kindness. The hell? 2 seasons later, that child's body was found face down in the estate's Glomos pound. I'm starting to wonder if this kid isn't cursed, but just like psycho. Possibly. Bliss Gaming, hey, thanks for the follow. Glad to have you. Where were we here? It was recorded as an accidental drowning, and as the child had no family to raise complaints, the case was quietly closed. Official records, however, suggest that the child had been beaten before death. Most recently, the region held a family gathering to which Krovos was not invited. He was left at home with the servants. At that gathering, a meal was served with poisonous mushrooms mixed into a salad, killing all but the regent's eldest daughter, who hated salad and didn't eat any. The courts are still debating whether the cook or daughter is to blame, but it's not socially acceptable for her to take over Krovos' guardianship while under such a shadow. In the end, it was decided to let Krovos assume direct control of his inheritance despite his young age. Some believe Krovos to be cursed or perhaps blessed by the touch of death himself. Yeah, and that's certainly the incorrect way to look at it, yeah. Already there are small cults within his territory that revere him as an avatar. Others see him as the victim of a scheming family who hope to usurp his electoral control, only to be brought down by his own plots. Yeah. In any case, his name is already so marked with suffering and scandal that it's hard to imagine any blackmail attempts having an impact. Alright, so we're not going down that road. As Krovos has been legally emancipated and given control of his own affairs, it is theoretically possible for him to make a marriage contract with someone through a sacra. Can you imagine marrying this psycho? No way. The sacra might refuse to carry out the rites until he reaches adolescence. No way in hell. No way. Explore their social network. Who are you on good terms with so I can stay on their good side? Investigating the relationship of Krovos, Elector Andro. Krovos is allied with Shapadok from Hero 2. That's only one ally! Wow. Ixil, Stoyan, Radomil, and Eve are enemies of Krovos. Wow. A lot of enemies. So, wait, who was your one that's on this planet? Shapadok. Chappie. Wait, I don't see, what planet is that person from? It didn't say. Alright, it's in the history, right? Menu? History. What? No! Oh, there it is. Shapadok from Hero 2. Hero 2. Have we gone there? Mao. No, we have not gone over there. Hero 2, huh? So this big planet is your one sole supporter. I was thinking how pretty this planet was, too. I don't know how I feel about that anymore. We'll see. Eventually we'll get over there. We have the drag to visit. We have all of this wonderful territory, assuming we survive even. I don't imagine we're gonna get that many votes pledged at this point. Yikes. All right, social. Screw you. Let's find more about you. Investigate the background for you. You dig in the background of FXA, High Pontifex of Mirka. Officially, all Mirkan priests sever ties with their families when they join the Sacra. They can never marry or have children and are not meant to play any part in house politics. However, fondness and friendship sometimes remain. According to records, Xethe originally hailed from a wealthy trader family and pledged herself to the priesthood as a young adult. She received distinctions at Scholarium, and was never engaged, and has no known connections to any of the electoral dynasties. Ethics rose through the ranks as a servant to Kaleo, one who watches the skies for spices. As a young woman, she was often called upon to preside over ritual sacrifices. However, she chose to step back from public ceremony, busying herself in the bureaucracy and internal debates of the priesthood. I am bored reading your description, my lady. Upon the death of the previous High Pontifex, the Sacred Council was convened to decide upon a successor. The details of that process remain a divine mystery known only to the elders of the faith, but the final decision must remain unanimous. Ethex's rule is unchallenged. As for personal life, Ethexe has maintained long-term connections with multiple younger priestesses. Those of the faith are not required to be sexless, only unmarried. Okay. Huh. I feel like this might be going a bit much at the moment. I still want to finish the social stuff going on, so let's go mingle and chat a bit. You invite some residents, although if IRL was picking, I'd probably go with the Daredevil route, honestly. That seems fun. To invite some of the residents of the palace to meet you for drinks and conversation. Okay. All right, stay put another turn, or so. We would need to be here 4 more turns? Jeez, okay. Good morning, Your Imperial Highness. Come to request your opinion on a complex matter of law. Yours is not necessarily this deciding vote, but they are interested to see how you would address the situation. All right, what's the situation? It regards a question of inheritance. A Tharkan matriarch recently passed into eternity. She had 2 children, one by her second husband who predeceased her, and one by her concubine. She left no will. So her status and the majority of the estate is inherited by the child of the marriage, with smaller shares for any surviving concubines and other child. Under normal circumstances, documents have since been found to indicate that the matriarch's first husband was not actually dead at the time she married her second husband, making that marriage legally invalid. How did that happen? They were living separately on different planets. You know, that's gonna happen. It's bound to happen. Either there was a miscommunication, or the matriarch produced false death papers to show that her first marriage was no longer an issue. He's dead, to me. The first husband did die after half a fivum later, before the supposedly legitimate child was born, but the mistake was not noticed or dealt with at the time, so the invalid marriage was never replaced. None of this would be an issue if the woman had left a will. As it stands, the person who was treated as the heir is technically neither the child of a marriage nor a registered concubinage. So the concubine's child is challenging the inheritance. That's a mess. The people who broke the law in the first place are all dead and cannot be questioned. By one interpretation, the heir is now legally entitled to nothing, despite being raised all their life to expect it. Oh no! I'm sorry, child. What is your recommendation? I don't know anything about the economic side. Treat the 2 children equally? No, we can't do that. Not in this society. That's gonna be very messy, and I won't pass the check anyway. That's mostly the reason, is the second reason. Not that I listen. If these were 2 real children and their parent had died and such, I'd be like, split it. Just split it, okay? Split it. But that's not this reality. It's not. This is a fake story for many things. It's more dramatic than a soap opera and reality show mixed together. I'm here for it. There we go. Let's see, the husband's child keeps the title. That's what child gets nothing. Very, very interesting. And it's both of their children, isn't it? I mean, it's weird. I think that they both should get something. I mean, if it seems to be that there was the expectation that they would be getting it, I know people get jilted over by paperwork all the time, unfortunately. That's just, let's be realistic here and be nice. And like, listen, just because you're a concubine and you technically have like a loophole here doesn't mean, I mean, you should have had the expectation also that you weren't going to get anything, but you should get something. You really should get something. You both should get something. Absolutely. The husband child keeps the child. The legal violation, deliberate or not, was many fiftums ago, and the lawbreaker is dead and cannot be punished. She tried to enter a marriage with her second husband. Her intent was for that child to be a legitimate heir. The fair solution is to maintain the status quo. Very well. Here we go. Jerry. Okay. Now we need to up our menace here so that we get that, and so we can up our empathy again. We need to be more empathetic. Yeah. Sorry, poor children. The poor children indeed. Although they're adults, I imagine, at this point, so... yeah. You hear things, you see things. About people bickering over people's deaths, and it's terrible. And I don't wish that on anyone. Please be nice to your family members before they go. And just keep those memories. And don't let money, you know, get in the way of your friendships or relationships. Just don't. You have unlocked the Golden Empress outfit, which provides a bonus to emotion skills. Would you like to put it on now? I just want to see what it looks like. Are you wearing pants underneath that, or are those your knees? I don't know if the bonus is worth that outfit. Oh boy. Well, I suppose we can keep it on for now. When can we change it? Now? I think those are her knees. Oh my goodness. All right, which one would I want the bonus to, actually? Rhetoric, etiquette, deception, empathy, allure, menace. Empathy, I'm wondering. I kind of want to keep it on this one for right now, if we're going to be having more social interactions very soon. Why are you marked? Oh, because that was the last thing I did. Okay, that's fair. This dude seems to be favorable to us. We did not say hello to you, but I don't really want to either. Analyze voting history. Within the Imperial divisions, Exathe is most loyal to the Americans. Exathe favors a conservative approach, sticking with traditions and methods that have been tried and tested over the fiftums. Exathe prefers a ruthless approach, stamping out dissent, punishing failure, and being willing to make sacrifices to succeed. So probably I'm not going to be in good favor with them. Exathe prefers to focus on issues with the Celestial Empire rather than relations with alien powers. Interesting. Hello, big cat lady. Trying to rule the galaxy by changing outfits? You got it. They gave me bonuses. Those outfits give me bonuses, Blacktails. Hello. Let's see. We're gonna try to see if we get an audience with this person. You submit a request for an audience with the high point effects and wait anxiously for a response. Even Imperial Princess cannot command the attention of Her Holiness. All Holiness. At last, you are granted permission to travel to the surface of Kedro and enter the Basilica of Shadows. You're guided to a chamber, a small chamber where you wait for your private audience. A pair of aides opens the door and lowers their eyes as the priestess enters, then step away without speaking. As High Pontifex, Exathe is not dedicated to the service of a single deity, presides over the Mirkan faith in general. She may officiate or instruct at any temple if she chooses. That is why her title is All Holiness. Spirituality and etiquette failed. Yes, it's good. Do I kneel? I don't know if I should kneel or not. I mean, I'm technically above her, aren't I? I mean, I'm Galaxy Princess. I don't know. I don't know what the proper etiquette is here. I know this is the Final Fantasy X-2 over again. No. Yeah, I don't think I would. I mean, like, even if she's a priestess. Listen, if I encountered a priest myself, I wouldn't bow to a priest. But, I mean, like, I'm no one special at that, so I'm gonna remain standing. I'm bold. Look at that. You meet her gaze unflinching. If you're going to be Empress, you need the will to stand tall in the face of anyone who might oppose you. Strength be with you. There we go, I probably got some respect with her. And also with you. Oh look, we're twins. I have come here to request your support and your blessing for me to succeed my father to the celestial throne as he wished. Will you join the celestial ministry as my spiritual advisor? You reach for a crown of stars, but the blood and the soul of the American people lie here upon the stones. Older than empire, older than flight. Half your blood is foreign, but you were raised and educated here on Kedro, correct? Yes, at the Ishinka Academy. But where is your faith? Where is your soul? Do you offer your tears to Gamajin for wisdom, or do you dance for your mother's good lady? Oh, my galactic relations is too low. Shit. And I definitely have 0 with my spirituality, which reflects mostly me. I would not kneel to a priest. Who knows what they might try. Oh, I think she's gonna be fine in that regard. You don't know all the names of the Novan goddesses, or any of the Novan goddesses, or which of them might be titled the Good Lady. Your mother certainly never passed any faith on to you. You're raised in the American faith and made all the proper offerings, but you can't really be described as devout. Religion has never been a major priority for you, and you don't spend much time thinking about it. Still, it's all you know. I'm American, not a Novan. The High Pontifex takes hold of your chin and stares deeply into your eyes. Menace failed. Your faith is shallow, weak, untested, which is why I need an advisor. Come on. Exciting takes a step back regarding you impassively. Princess Zorana, as Empress, it would often fall to you to enforce the laws should other channels prove insufficient. As you should already know, pledging oneself to the priesthood is a bond for life. Like marriage, it cannot be undone. What would you do if you were presented with a priest who had tried to flee his duty and disappear back into civilian life? What remedy would you propose? My spirituality failed again, as expected. What does she want from you? Does she want to hear that you are ruthless, or does she want to judge how clever you can be? Oh, my history. Yes, okay. Once again, history is helping me out. Every rule has loopholes. A priest is not allowed to abandon the faith. But if they were caught and brought back to their duties, they wouldn't have abandoned anything. They might be assigned new duties as penance or watched more closely afterwards, but their vows would not be broken. My rhetoric and deception are, past, yes. A priest is bound for life, but if that person started a new life, this is going up again, it's going up again. Their priest self would no longer exist, just as a new initiate severs all ties to the past life and family when they join the priesthood. Could a priest cut off that past identity and become someone new? The priest must be reborn. The priest has betrayed their vows and therefore must cease to exist. They must give up everything, including their name, and be cast as anathema to begin a new life. As simple as that? They wish to leave, so they leave? It's not as simple as that. Oh, I still failed somewhere. Oh no. Birth is complicated and painful. They would be a gauntlet they'd have to pass through, a trail of fire and knives. Not all would survive. One has to face death to win a chance at a new life. Ooh boy. You don't really know what goes on in the temples behind the closed doors, knife fighting and flailing of fire, sure, but it sounds like the kind of spectacle they'd enjoy. So you value freedom. She falls into silent contemplation. Oh, my allure. Good. Noticing her eyes on you, you do your best to look simultaneously pious and winsome. You are young and your path is uncertain. You must seek a sign of favor from the gods. How do I do that? I will give you dispensation to enter into a ritual starfall match. We will see which direction Fortune's blade will slice. Starfall is a popular sport among Mirkins. Oh, she wants me to play a sport? Oh, we are gonna fail. Oh boy. Star-tipped javelins are thrown from player to player along the length of a field to reach the goal. A player holding a spear may not run, but must quickly sight and throw the star to a teammate. There is an exception. Any player who is pierced by the falling star is allowed to run with the spear still driven into their body. So if you are struck, you can keep running with it stuck into your body, and that's a beneficial thing for your team, not a hindrance to your life. Striking one of your teammates in this way also scores an immediate point, even if the blow turns out to be fatal. Professional Starfall players are highly paid and have legions of screaming followers, but they all know that every match might be their last. I already failed many things just reading that. The sport is also played religiously for divination purposes, and there the injured rate is even higher. Players retire quickly, like after one match if they survive. Yeah, perhaps. Your academy put you all out on the field once or twice as part of your regular exercise routine, but with the star replaced by a puffball and so many special safety rules that not even a nose was broken. That's no preparation for a serious match. As for, sports. As for a deeper strategy of the game, you don't have a clue. Test your fate and then return to me. Thank you, your all holiness. So basically she told me to go get stuffed. It is a dangerous task, but the support of the high point effects could be very influential among American nobles. How badly do you want it? Not that badly. You sense her feeling towards you are leaning negative. Yeah, that's what I figured as much. She has assigned me the quest of the falling star. Forget you. Still can't be as crazy as rugby. I think we could argue differently there. I mean, both are pretty bad. Pretty bad. All right, since we're here, let's investigate your background, all right? You dig into, this is our opponent in the election, all right? You dig into the background of Lucomere, Elector of Kedro. Lucomere has lived a life of wealth and privilege, not so much as an imperial heir, of course, but then much of your childhood more resembled an exile than a political education. Lucomere's family have excellent connections. He has been embedded in Twin World society since before he could walk. You're actually distant cousins multiple times by some number of directions. Just enough for his family to be said to have imperial ties, not enough for it to count for anything. Most nobility is connected somehow if you go far enough back. That's like playing cricket with a ball made of nitroglycerin and a bat made of uranium. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's like, and might as well just be throwing knives at people. Like, just catch. Lucomere attended the finest academies, but his grades were haphazard. He excelled at languages, literature, and debate, but not so much at science or calculation, and he was known for skipping classes and handing in late assignments. His talent with words always smoothed over any difficulties. At Scholarium, he was known to be part of an exclusive secret society known as the Brotherhood of Bones. Their practices remain largely hidden from non-members, but they were reported for both wild parties and heretical experimentation. Heretical experimentation? I wonder what that involves. During Lucomere's student seasons, a young scholar from a lower-class family died mysteriously on campus. It was rumored that he had perished while attempting to carry out a sequence of dangerous tasks in order to win admittance to the Brotherhood, but they denied having any such entry rituals. As an adult, Lucomere, now respectably married, he and his wife are patrons of many worthy causes, and he is a motivational speaker for schools and businesses. They have no children so far. Lucomere is known to be a flirt and an admirer of many, but has never been caught in any scandalous affairs. Yeah, there's definitely a blackmail option there for that one kid. Regic, Elector of Tharkis Prime, has pledged their vote. Tharkis Prime. Oh, now that planet was not very happy to me. Yeah. But you know, like, it's mostly everyone hates me type of thing anyway, so. Where were we? Yeah, we were here. Dismiss. Okay. Oh, we were in the bold area. That's right, because I was just like, yeah. Determined or Daredevil? Let's do an exercise routine. Yeah. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. First, warm up your muscles, then get your heart beating faster. It's your duty to maintain yourself. Your duty. We're gonna stay put here at least another turn. Although we could do 21, 22, 23, 24. You know what? Just for the sake of moving, let's do that. We're gonna go check out what the Drog has here. Just briefly, and then return. Entering deep space sector. Please wait. The Imperial Highness, the situation is developing rapidly in Hero 3 sector. A previously unknown disease has surfaced on Kyochim. The victims suffer intense fevers and pustulent lesions. It appears to affect individuals of multiple races. We currently have no information on incubation periods, mortality rates, methods of transmission, or even the source of the ailment. This sector's economy is heavily dependent on tourism. News of an outbreak will damage many businesses and may cause unrest. However, travelers in and out of the region might spread the contagion. Disabling the sector's warp gate to enforce a strict quarantine will stop the disease from spreading, but also prevent medical teams from reaching the crisis. Oh. Well, we want them to come there. Oh, I suck with both of these! Lock down the sector. Organize medical science mission. Well, I think a quarantine is in order, but if that's going to prevent them from getting the help that they need, which is very important, that could cause their whole sector to just, like, falter into death, which we don't want. I have 0 points in any of these. I'm just going to trust my advisors. Organize medical things. The most important thing is to find out more about this disease and how to treat it. Not find out more! Oh, shit. Oh, I should have picked the quarantine option. Use my personal resources to organize the best doctors in medical science to tackle this. Very well. How should we handle the public information aspect? Okay, this we might be able to handle. Suppress news to avoid panic. Issue travel warning. Issue help advice. Encourage safe spending? What? No. We're gonna... Yeah, we should do the, Well, this is the only one I might be able to pass. Suppress news to avoid panic. But that also might increase spreading the disease and people traveling, and I don't want that either! Oh! Issue travel warnings. We need to explain to the Empire at large that there's a problem. Everyone should avoid entering the sector. Very well, detail your request and I will get the process started. An epidemic is a bad omen for the Empire, whatever way you look at it. This could do great damage to your reputation. Yes, that's the thing I'm worried about. My reputation! Not anything else. Nope. Okay. What to worry about now? After learning about that dude's lack of science, I kind of want to do more science stuff, honestly. I think that might help a bit. So, let's do a little bit of science here and there. 20 points. There we go. 20 points of science. It's better than his science, I bet. Your Imperial Highness, I have updates on Hero 3 situation. Oh, good. My mistakes are coming at me already. Yep. Your request for medical assistance has been received, but due to organizational issues, no experts have yet to reach the sector. Good. Travel agencies have put up warnings discouraging holiday makers from traveling to the sector, but these have limited impact. Yay! Woo! Karande, is anyone trying to kill me? Talk to me. Good day. We have reports suggesting multiple threats against your life. You should avoid any potentially hazardous situations that might be exploited. Consider carefully. Yeah. Be cautious. Woohoo. End your social turn. Okay. Review my schedule. Let's be nice and compliant and everything. Good. Let's go visit the drug, like I said. Because we're being nice. We're wonderful. Nice drug stuff. Entering drug sector. Please enjoy. Your Imperial Highness, I have reports on the disease situation. Good! I need more disease talk. Cases now being reported outside of Hero 3 sector. We may have a pandemic on our hands. Good! Great! I should have locked it down! I thought it would. The wider population of the Empire is becoming alarmed. The medical assistance you requested have reached the sector, and the first experts are arriving in the sector now to take samples and investigate the situation. At least that's good. That's good news there. They have the support of the local physicians who have been working on the problem for some time. With luck, there will be a solution soon. Concern about the contagion is growing within the Hero 3 sector, and accusations are flying, blaming the outbreak on various different segments of the population. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. In particular, there's a rumor about the poor hygiene practice among the Hero being responsible, which is stoking racial tension. What a mess. I'm good that I'm not an actual politician. I'm so happy. I'm so happy my life is so much more simpler in real life. Oh, that's the good stuff. That's the good. Good. Okay, so we have bonuses in gunnery and interaction today. Which, if you haven't paid attention, it's an extra 5 that you learn. If I tried any of these pink ones, it's just 5. So no, we're not working on combat or environment today. So, we could do some more rhetoric, which is, please get on my side. Please do. please. And etiquette would be very appropriate as well. Although, actually, hang on, let's get rid of the rhetoric. I want more etiquette, so I snub people less and be like, oh, it's so nice to see you, fuckface, without them feeling offended. You know? There we go. Etiquette bonus, 45. Tra-la-la. You receive a message from Senya saying, looking forward to seeing you home for Agonalia, the upcoming religious ceremony, on turn 24. By home, she means Kedra, of course, not your actual home. Though, what would you consider to be your actual home by this point? You have so many priorities. Senya is not highly ranked enough to be granted automatic admission to the ceremony at Basilica of Shadows, but she might have been lucky enough to win a ticket from the public distribution. She does get overly excited about the bloodletting sometimes. Ooh, me too. The drug system was first discovered early in the history of Celestial Star Empire, but contained no worlds suitable for colonization. It is a wasteland of broken rock, asteroids, and planetoids, tumbling chaotically around a dimly guttering star. Hidden among those rocks are signs which speak of disasters which predate the Mirkan race. For that reason, the system is primarily of interest to scholars and mystics. The permanent population of the Draug system mostly dwell within two large space stations, Death's Wings and Mirkan Holding, and the Imponderable, under the control of the Mao. That's pretty far away. Visual arts and etiquette, success. Yes. For that reason, you were directed the capital decorators to use design reflecting both Mirkan and Mao influence. Your guests include 2 station electors, of course, but also the region's preeminent scientists, ranking officials, and military leaders. Draug may be an insignificant system, but the Empire does not intend to lose it. You spot one of the electors nearby. With a societal sip, you discard your drink, stealing your nerves and preparing to meet your guests. Grr! Grr! What's the name? Pippi Longstockings. Here we go. Suddenly, your path is blocked by a young mirror woman with an intricate hairstyle. She clutches a stack of paper print hats. Unusual. Your Imperial Highness, it's a great honor for you to visit us at this auspicious time. If I could have a moment of your attention, my name is Sopofisco. Safi. We'll call her Safi. And I have recently uncovered a carving which may influence the Empire's entire course of history. She holds up her stack of papers, and you realize that if you don't do something, she will continue talking for the entire length of the reception. Yikes. Okay. Call the cards. How do you say that name? It's a wonderful, wonderful question. Tell your wish to read her report later. Terrify her into silence, lose her in the crowd. Well, I can't do hiding. Let's do etiquette. I would like to read that later. I'd love to hear more about that, but this sounds like a subject that needs more than a few splits of my attention. Of course it does. The history alone? It would be impolite for me to spend the entire evening listening to just one presentation when there are many of your colleagues who also wish to share discoveries. Yes, but mine are more important, and you've brought it to my attention, so thank you. I'll recognize the importance. That was your task you needed to accomplish here. Now please submit your full reports through the proper channels so that I can read them in a less distracting environment. Oh, all right. Polite but firm, that's the key. You locate the nearest elector and proceed with your rounds. Greetings, Your Imperial Highness. I am also a Goth. How do you do? I'm Stoyan, Regent Elector of Death's Wings. Hell yeah! Welcome to the Draug system. He is an adult Mirkan male dressed in well-tailored clothes of fine fabric, but very little decoration. His face and voice seem almost emotionless as he speaks. Regent Elector? Of Chosen is, as of yet, too young to assume the responsibility herself. Cough, baby. Cough, baby. He beckons for her, a small Mirkan child half your height, wearing a full-skirted frilly dress as pale as her hair. Her features are hidden under a dark veil, but flashes of bow white peeking out between the holes in the lace. Has she painted her face for war? Yes, she has. Say hello, Princess Zorana. Say hello to Princess Zorana, Arahil. You cannot tell whether or not she is making a face at you under there. Still, she is an elector, even if she's not quite a voting one. It is a pleasure to meet you, Arahil. You try to offer her a welcoming smile. I am in mourning. Oh, I'm sorry. Have your parents recently crossed over? Stoyan did not introduce her as his daughter, after all. It was many cycles ago, but Arahil is particularly devout. That is much of what led her to being chosen elector. You ought to be more devout. Why aren't you in mourning? Didn't your father, the Emperor, just enter eternity? Oh, God.
Goth baby hates me.
Princess Zorana has many duties and must consider the needs of the Empire as a whole. She does not have the luxury of deep mourning. The tiny child lifts her chin proudly. I will pray for you.
Oh, I will pray for you.
Thank you. I have heard that the Emperor was engaged in some fascinating research at the time of his demise. I hope you intend to follow his footsteps, with better results, of course. Perhaps. Do you really have a pet? She's interested in the pet Blobby.
Do you really have a pet, Aben Block?
Yes. She folds her thin arms and looks up at her regent. I want a pet. You already have a great many skeletons. Mallow just fell down. Sorry. Clouds don't belong on the ground. They belong in the sky. All right? Stay there. Yeah, you have many skeletons. So do I. So do I. Oh, Skelly is way too far. I'd say bring her over too. You can't tell from his delivery whether those skeletons are former pets or current ones. Come now, let's have some punch and cookies.
I suppose cookies would be acceptable. For now.
I'm sure we will speak again later, Your Imperial Highness. I want in on their family. Of course. You watch the two of them lead together, the regent guiding his ward without touch. There's no sign of a spouse connected to Stoyan, or he'll of course is too young for a betrothal, obviously. You sense that his feelings towards you are leaning negative. After a moment to refresh yourself, you seek out the other elector. I'm disappointed. He is middle-aged by Mao standards, with a thin frame and short-cropped fur. He is wrapped in clothing more decorative than Stoyan's, and he smiles widely at your approach. Ah, Your Imperial Highness, it is with the greatest of pleasures that I introduce myself to you. I am Cinepart, Elector of the Imponderable. But of course you know that already. His voice is somewhat in between charming and impudent, with a beautiful tongue trill over the of his name. Pondering the Imponderable is deeply held tradition of our race, as you know. Empires, love, life, the meaning and meaninglessness. We are grateful that you recognize the value of our contributions, but of course you are filled with youthful determination. The universe looks different when you've had time to become jaded. That's a proper cat person. You're properly correct. Yes, prim and proper. And probably just as finicky about what they want to. If such a beautiful flower as yourself should not wilt so soon. Are you saying I'm coming near my prime, passing it? I just had my birthday in game. Come on. May I kiss your hand? I don't get any cues as if this is proper etiquette or not. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, he's asking. That's nice. But I don't know if this is going to be like meaning that he is like going after me, and I don't need that. I need to be neutral. This is election cycle. If I refuse, I'm gonna be like a prude, though. You need his approval, after all. Very well. Don't worry, I'm perfectly harmless. Oh, we don't know that. We don't. His lips brush lightly over the back of your hand, almost unnoticeable. Truly a pleasure, Your Imperial Highness. If you'll pardon me, I have other visitors whom I must avoid. I will await your call. Some other time. Oh, no. Right. A strange fellow. He isn't married and he did seem to take some interest in you, but can he be trusted? You sense his feeling towards you are leaning positive. Yeah. Relax. Just try to relax. There we go. Okay, now we need to head back to Mirka immediately. We can't stay and look at them too much. Entering deep space. Reports on the hero plague. Joy of joys! More plague talk. That's an ugly way of phrasing it. The expertise of our celestial doctors have triumphed. A treatment has been found to reverse the symptoms and halt the spread of disease. At least there's that bit of relief. It seems that I made the right decision, because it was our doctors that helped, not the ones that were there trying to fight the disease. If I had closed them off, it probably would have taken them too long and many people would have died. I would have assumed. And so there have been a lot of like falling back on the research. However, how's the rest of the galaxy doing? Oh boy, what position do we have? Was he just a guy? He was a guy that was a voter. So he might want to vote for us. I don't know, maybe. Let's see. The expertise of your selected doctors have triumphed. Yes. Halted the spread of disease. Thank goodness. It will take some time to track down all of the infected, and some may refuse treatment because they like the feeling of being sick. But the worst of the crisis is behind us now. But we don't fetish shame here. Spirituality has failed. Sounds like everything is going to be all right now, but the populace may be a bit shaken. You also have a message from Crystal Nova, communicating their disappointment that you did not rendezvous with them to discuss the captive spy. It's fine, they weren't a real spy. Do whatever you want with the fucker. I have more important things to worry about. It's too bad for their captive, but he's only one person. You have a whole empire to protect. Alright, I've been feeling so many spirituality things, but science. Science! Science! We need more science. I feel. We need more science. 40 science. 50 science. 50 science. Yeah. Heavenly powers now can move 1 warp point further away during navigation. Oh. Oh, that's why they were suggesting to do it more before. Alright, hey. My Thresher. Multiple threats against your life. Be cautious. Great. Wonderful. I'm just gonna say hello to Toby. Why not? Throw me at Toby. We're gonna feel negative though, because our pet is negative. It's so easy to make all your problems disappear, if only. If only. Okay. We will... Let's write in our diary. Let's be a little indulgent here, / secretive. You hold up in your room, you record your most secret thoughts for your private diary. You're so focused on your own feelings that you're completely unaware of the intruder in your room until you feel the garrote around your neck. What happened to my protection? Oh no! Instinctively your hands come up to your throat, clawing at the cord and trying to pull it away from your windpipe, but the thing garrote was already pressing deeply into your flesh. It only takes a moment for your vision to go black. Oh no, we'll never know what happened at that ceremony! Oh my god. We died. Zorana did not live to claim the Imperial throne. The future of the Celestial Empire remains unwritten. But it doesn't have to end this way. Trying different skills and make different choices, Zorana's star might rise again. Oh yeah, I want to save that. We could restart at turn 23 if we wanted to. Different decisions. I don't know if that's necessarily gonna save us. I'll save the log. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. We could restart the turn. I just want to see. On the plague, yeah. Yeah. Didn't feel old spirituality. Yeah, well, you know, stuff happens and everything. What were they doing on me? They were doing, like... Can we see the history from before? No, right? I just want to see if there's any chance of us surviving on that. So survival? Fighting food? No, definitely not that. Repair? No. Endurance, blade chain, unarmed. Oh, I think this, right? Combat blade. Okay, so sharp weapons, starting knives, moving on sword techniques, flexible weapons, or unarmed. Yeah. Let's just see what happens if we can actually survive that check. I'm suddenly very interested in not dying. Suddenly. We already know that I have multiple threats. Yep. Toby, let's end social. Review schedule. We didn't get attacked that time. How amazing. Well, I said I would stop when I died, and I do intend to go to that word, but I'm so curious about what happens at Mirka 1 here. We gotta know. We gotta know. Enter Mirka 1. I want to know what happens in the ceremony. Please, we need to. We have received another update from medical experts handling the Hero 3 update. The treatment has proved unusually effective. Symptoms reverse and leave no trace. Cure rate is extremely high. Alright, that's good, right? Well, my science is crap. It would seem so. I've notified the Bacilla of Shadows that you will be present for the Agonial rites, which will take place after this turn's classes. However, they returned a strongly worded suggestion that you not attend. Apparently, you are in disfavor with her all holiness. So I came here for nothing? That's not fair. Storming the Bacilla will not do your prospects any favors. When your Empress, her tune will change. So do we not get to go to the ceremony at all? That's bullshit! So I'll see you next Tuesday, lady. Jeez. Science. Give me that science. Give me science. Forget spirituality. Ever. Ever. Ugh. Yep, now we know that. We know more about science. Sitting room checking your latest feeds. Recordings from the Angolia rites on Kirdra's show. Lucamere standing tall and proud in front of the ring said the High Pontifex lifts a sacred position would have been yours if you had been there. Imperial Princess, you have the power to declare an elector that you meant to be a person non grata and banish them from your presence, damaging their reputation. This will please their enemies and upset their allies, as well as ensure they will never vote for you. Denouncing someone who is already unpopular can win you more votes, but is a risky strategy to affect or may retaliate. What's her name? Hang on. I need to make sure I got her name. Sorry? Okay. Is she not... She's not listed as an option. I can't really, like, commit political suicide, I guess, in this game. Alright. Well, that's baloney. That's baloney. How about we just do this to a random person who is also... Oh, this guy. Yeah, get rid of Zolat. Denounce Zolat. You issue a political proclamation that Zola, Elector of Kidro, has displeased you, no longer welcome in your court. I will also denounce... Milan. Yes. Zayden High Pontifex of Mirka has pledged their vow to Lucamere. I can't imagine why. I didn't get to do the bloodletting bullshit. Oh, I'm so mad. I just wanted blood. Is that more than I can really ask for at this point? I guess so. Search for problems. I am the problem, it seems. You venture to Palace Arbiter in a high-ceiling room with trees and other plants. Oh, this seems like we might be attacked here. An happy-looking gardener is standing beside one of the tall blue specimens, a pair of long-handled shears in his hands. Is something wrong? He looks at you, and back at the tree, then bites his lip. There's a canker on one of them branches on the underside. I think it might be a Baccarin fungus. The branch needs to be trimmed before it spreads or the whole tree might go. Indicates a long ladder leaning against the wall. It's high up, so I need the ladder to reach it, but when I get up there, I can't see right branch anymore because the angle's wrong. Could you help me? How? Oh, this guy! This guy wants me dead. If you go up the ladder, I can tell you which branch to cut. You eye the ladder. It's a solid workman's ladder, clearly used for this purpose all the time, but you can't help feeling uncertain about the prospect of climbing it while holding gardening equipment. Would it make sense for you to climb and me to point out the branch? It would if you could see the canker. Can you see the right branch? He points up into the tree. They all look the same to you. No, I can't. That's why you have to be on the ground. I have to be the one on the ground. If you'll help me, I'll hold the ladder while you climb and I'll hand you the shears once you're safely up. Empathy. He's clearly worried about something and seems to be in a hurry to get this done. But if he's trying to hide some failure on his part, why is he pressing you to help? You're usually the person's staff would want to hide mistakes from. Something's not right here. I'm sorry, I'm very busy. You'll have to find someone else to help. You hurry on the next apartment, making a note to send someone to check on that tree later. Ooh, I just avoided getting myself cut to death. I'm actually a little disappointed in that. That would have been a fun death scene, I bet. Oh well. Too much empathy. Too much empathy. Okay, that is enough of that for the time being here, I feel. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I don't know if I will play this again on stream, maybe. If you guys like it enough, perhaps I will.